What's up? How old do you feel? How old do you feel? Prince was saying that he was on a show and he asked the host. He said, "When's your birthday?" And the host, he said, "I'm not going to reply when my birthday is." He said, "How many birthdays do you have?" Is what he said, and he didn't want to reply. And he says, "Well, I know that you only have one birthday." And he says, "So I don't acknowledge when birthdays come around because it kind of made to make you age, make you feel older." And he said that's why I look the same way I do for the last like 25 years or whatever. And there's something to that. So I was talking to somebody about how your cells um, um, can be mentally manipulated. So if you have if you tell yourself that you're tired all the time, then you will be tired all the time. If you tell yourself, I'm going to be successful, you're probably going to be successful. You're going to find a way. If you tell yourself, you're going to be healed, there's probably some way you're going to find out how to be healed, whether it's spiritually, whether it's going to the doctors. You're going to look for that healing somewhere. You're going to try to fix something if it's possible. Even the impossible happens, you know. So uh, all these things contribute, to age. What you eat, the people you're around, what you do for a living, all that contributes to your age. So, I just think that, you can feel 50 even if you're 30. There's some people who have gray hair uh, at a young age of 16, 17 years old. They got a head full of gray hair. That's hereditary. Then there's some people that all of a sudden age, and it's just like, wow, man, you really look like you've been like through a whole gambit of life, and now you're like 50 and just like, nah, man, I'm 25. I just been living a rough, the last 5 years has just been really rough for me. So you can actually age yourself. Now the question is, can you make yourself younger? So of course this is very important to people, especially people who are, really old and don't like it, and to women, because women have that clock that they're always up against. You know, Women always talk about the clock, and how they can't have children after a certain age, or it's risky for them to have children. And women always want to be beautiful all through history. The women who are most talked about in human history were pretty much beautiful women, not unless they were smart and did something, or warriors or something like that. But a lot of them was just beautiful, and they were just very striking and beautiful women. So beauty has a hierarchy in every society. Beauty has a hierarchy. Some women have gone to great lengths to be, beautiful, to get the lipo and all this, that, and the other. A lot of times it backfires on them. And even, like I said, in human history, there's women who have tried to steal other women's beauty. Like, she's young, she's beautiful. I'm in my 40s and whatever. I'm not so beautiful. I'm gonna try to steal her beauty from her. And they've done it in all kind of ways, whether it's through, a spiritual way, or whether it's actually physical, and said, boom, I'm going to take this from you, and then, you know, your beauty is going to be mine, and I'm going to live forever. And, which never happens. It doesn't work like that. But nonetheless, that is a thing. So the question is, how old do you feel? Do you feel like, if you're 30 years old, do you feel 30? And if you do, how do you know what 30 feels like? Is there a great consensus on what 30 feels like. There is on what 30 looks like, but on what 30 feels like. Why 30? Because 30 is a milestone. 30 is right when you're going into middle aged. That's what 30 is. When a woman hits 30, she's like, oh, it's not going to happen for you. I'm never going to get married, which is not true because there's plenty of women who get married after 30. However, it's harder for them to get married after 30. And it's not so much because of the pool of men that they're choosing from, but a lot of times it's because their mind is made up that it's not going to happen because of the choices that were made from when they were younger. They're like, it's just not going to happen for me. So, 30 is a huge, huge milestone. Even in society, when, females who are 30, they automatically start thinking that they're no longer attractive and they're not going to attract the mate. So they don't attract the mate. But what if we flipped it and said, when women hit 30, they start to become more attractive? You would start to see more 30-year-old women come out of the woodwork like, I'm 30, blah, 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 blah. I should have a man, yiggity, yiggity, yak, yak. Which, really doesn't work like that, but there are plenty of men who like 30-year-old women for a lot of reasons. One is because you're not as crazy as you were when you were 20. 20-year-old, boy, that's something, but you can get a man in his 50s and 60s. He's going to look like a 30-year-old. He's going to go, 30, that's right in there for me. I'll take it. 45-year-old man just hit his stride, in his finances. He's got his house, his 2 cars, and his motorcycle. And he's like, yeah, I'll take a 30-year-old. Let's go. Let's do it. Get her in here and let's, we might get a kid out of it if we're lucky. That's cool with me. 1 child is cool with me. And we'll just go ahead and do that and live that life, because he's thinking, 1, he won't be lonely. 2, he'll have somebody to pour his love and his money into. 3, if they have a child, which is highly possible at 30, once, they have a child, he's going to pour his love into that child. And the mother is going to love that child, hopefully. And, he's like, boom, I got my family. I got the church down the street. I got the job, a couple miles away. I did it. I'm successful. Success, eureka, where I'm here. I made it. I'm 45, I'm 48, and boom, I have the family that everybody wants. I'm living the American dream, and he's made it. You know what I mean? So I say that you feel, if you feel like you're 60, stop feeling like you're 60. Flip that around. Not unless you want to be 60, not unless you think 60 is the new 40. There are people who look very, very young for their age. So there's that too. You know what I mean? You're like, wow, how does this guy like the Asian dude who's 60 years old and he's like a big hit on TikTok and Instagram, and all these women are trying to get with him, and they're like, wow, why do you look so young? He's got a great body. You can tell he eats good and all this other stuff. And they're like, well, this guy looks great, and he says, I'm 60 years old. And they're asking him, how is it that you're 60 years old and you look like you're a good 37 maybe? And he says, because I never married. So all these women trying to get at him, he's not going to do it. So basically what he's saying that his stress level in his life is very low. What up? Let me read this real quick. Yeah, he's saying he doesn't stress. That's why, hey, Big Tone, you've been inspiring on how to never give up. And if you have a skill, you can always make it. You're right. If you have no skills, get a skill. Right. I also love the Airbnb video. If I ever get put on, yeah, if you ever get put out, man, I made those videos because you never know. You never know. I was living in a nice 2-bedroom, decent neighborhood, and then boom, it's get out and don't come back. They were like, you can't come back here. They trespassed me from that area. And I was like, fine, I don't want to come back anyway. But it's like, it's like, if you're living in an apartment, that is not your place. That's just a place where you're, temporarily staying. And you got to have that in your mind. They can kick you out, and then they kick me out and try to charge me a rent, even though I wasn't staying there anymore. So listen, God bless the child who has his own. But I'm telling you, if you got money, see, let me tell you something. I knew that me and that guy was gonna clash, right? So I stopped playing stocks. I took my money out of stocks. All the money that I would receive, I put it in the bank. I held on to it because I knew a day of reckoning was coming. So when I hit, I threw all my stuff out. I slept in my truck one night, but before I even left, I was on the internet talking to social workers, homeless shelter. I called the House of Representatives. I went through the whole gambit. I talked to lawyers. I called down to the college to see if I can get a free lawyer, and I did. I mean, I was all over the place. I hit the ground running. So I was only really out one night. You know what I'm saying? One night I slept and I went on Facebook and said what happened. A lot of people will hide what's happening to them and then they won't get no help. I was like, screw that. I went on there, boom, and said, this is what's happening. Somebody said, come spend the night at my house. I spent the night at their house. Boom. Next day, it was like, you can't spend a night anymore. I said, cool. I spent the night in the truck. From there, boom, I was Airbnb in it because there was somebody else who I told what was going on, and they was giving me information, and and then everywhere I went, that was an opening ear. I was like, this is my situation. What can I do? And one random person who I didn't even know, he was like, man, I mean, you might not be able to stay here, but you you should go and check out Airbnb. And so when enough people said it, I just downloaded the app and boom, I found a spot right down the street, for like 25 or something dollars a night. And I had the money because I'm not a big spender. I held on to my money. And another thing is, I don't have a traditional job. So I didn't lose there. And I had already had a storage unit. So I just went down there and said, hey, give me a bigger storage unit, put all my stuff in there, and then closed out the other storage unit that I had because I had a small one. So I closed one out, opened up another one, and, boom, just calculated what it was going to cost me. And I still have that storage unit. It pays for itself now. You know what I'm saying? Because I still was flipping refrigerators. You know what I'm saying? I still do that. I flipped two refrigerators. Well, one today. I sold one today. I sold one yesterday. I mean, I've been going at it for the last couple of days. You know what I'm saying? So I kept hustling and I didn't stop, bro. I haven't stopped hustling. And as long as you got some hustle in you somewhere, you find something that you like, you make yourself valuable. See, I made myself valuable. So I even had a lady call me the other day. I ain't talked to this lady in last summer. I mean, a year plus. But she remembered me. She kept my number. And she was like, hey, Anthony, this is so and so. Or she calls me Tone. Everybody calls me Tone. She was like, yo, do you still move things from one place to another? And I was like, yeah, I remember you. And I was like, what you need? She's like, I need a refrigerator moved from one house and put in my garage. I was like, $80, I'll do it. She was like, bet. I gave her a good price. You know what I'm saying? So boom, went and did that quick $80. Boom, $80. Boom, just like that. I had somebody else call me up, and I had somebody call me today and say, hey, can you deliver a fridge from one place to the other? I charged them $60. Boom, $60 just like that. Just like that. Not going to work, not people telling me no, not a bunch of none of that. Just, hey, can you do it? Yes. Why? Because I have a habit of putting myself in the way of money, in the stream of money. And it ain't it don't have to be a lot of money. But it's significant. You know what I mean? I mean, that's a light bill, that's a gas bill, that's on rent, that's food. I'm not hungry. Look at me. Do I look hungry? No, I'm not hungry. So I tell anybody, look, get in the way of money. I don't care what it is, as long as it's legal. Get in the way of money some kind of way. Make yourself valuable where people are still calling you. Get a certificate in something. Something. Get a notary certificate. Become a notary. So what? People can show up at your house. Listen, anywhere you go, you still the notary. Put it on Facebook that you're a notary. Do it. Don't cost that much. Become a notary. People are gonna come to tax season. People are gonna come to you. Learn how to do taxes. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, make yourself valuable, and that's what I do. So now people come to me, and I don't always have to come to them. They come right to me. They call my phone. I show up at their front door, and then we do the thing, and they pay me. And I always another thing. I'm honest, and I always have an honest price. Always have an honest price. So I get people from all over the place too. I mean, all over the place, who will say, "Hey, do you do this, do that?" Or I'll go and I bought a refrigerator yesterday. I bought a refrigerator yesterday and today. And check this out. I was talking to this lady for about 4 days because I she posted a refrigerator. I said, I want the refrigerator. She said somebody else is coming to look at it. I said, okay. She hit me back and said, hey, they haven't came. And I said, just keep me posted. She hit me back and says, nobody's come to pick this refrigerator up. Do you want it? I said, yes. I went out there today, looked at it. Big, beautiful refrigerator. Beautiful refrigerator. Two-door. It's a Whirlpool Gold refrigerator, right? So I'm out there talking to her, and she's like, I don't know what happened. It just stopped working. I have no idea what happened. And I was asking her questions. Did you have a power outage? Did this happen? That happened? She was like, no, none of that happened. I said, okay. I said, did you buy a new one? She's like, I got a new one coming. And I said, well, it could be this, that, and the third. I said, I'm going to get home and I'm going to try to figure out what it is. I got that refrigerator in the door. I plugged it in and it's still running right now. It is the best refrigerator I've ever had. I got it right now. That thing is running right now. Right back there in my other room. That thing, I haven't seen a refrigerator get to the degree that this refrigerator is. So what I did was after I had it plugged in for about 10 minutes, I took a video of it and I said, and then I took a gun, to measure the temperature, a temperature gun, and I showed her, I said, the inside of your freezer, I just turned it on 10 minutes ago, it's already 40 degrees. 32 is freezing. I opened the other side and said, this side is 43 degrees. And then I said, this refrigerator doesn't work over here. And pointed at that one. And that refrigerator was 47 degrees. That's the degrees it is in that room. It's 47 degrees. So I said, this refrigerator works. And I told her, look, the next refrigerator that you come in, if it stops working for some reason, it's probably the plug, not the refrigerator. I'm trying to tell you that I got a $1,700 refrigerator brand if it was brand new for $20. $20. And there's not a scratch on it. Not one. Get in the game. Do something. Get in the game somewhere else. I'm trying to tell y'all. I'm trying to tell you, get in the game. You know, sell something that everybody needs. Everybody needs appliances. Learn how to be a plumber. You know, don't even be certified. Just become a professional handyman. I did that. I needed some money. I went right on Craigslist. The guy said handyman. I was like, boom, hit me up, homie. He was like, yeah, meet me up. Boom, I helped him with some stuff. He paid me. Now there's an app to be a handyman. I think there's an app for it. Be a handyman, handy woman. And I'm trying to tell you, I'm not making no money according to some of these guys out here. I'm not this one dude. He's like 23. He is an electrician. He said I made $120,000 last year. That's making some money. I'm just getting by. Shift Smart. So you can pick up an extra shift or two. You want to work an extra shift? There's an app called Shift Smart. Yeah, make yourself valuable. I was talking to one lady who I sold a refrigerator to. All we did, she just kept arguing with me, telling me that the refrigerator didn't work, and I told her it did. I was like, "Lady, the refrigerator works." I had to break it down how refrigerators works to this woman. I had to tell her in detail, how a compressor works, how the temperature works. I sold a refrigerator today, and being that I brought it to these people laying down, the husband immediately looks and goes, "Hey, according to what I've been told and what I've seen on the internet, you're not supposed to lay refrigerators down or they won't work." I looked at him and I said, "You got 15 days. If this refrigerator doesn't work, you give me a call. I'll either give you another one, give you your money back, or I'll fix it for you." And he was like, "Okay." See, you gotta know something though, because he went and looked at something on the internet. Now all of a sudden he's a resident expert. I'm like, "No, sir." And you plugged it in outside, and it's like 35, 36 degrees out here. And I told him, I said, "Listen, if you keep this refrigerator out here, the temperature outside is actually what it's going to read, because it's in your garage. So it's not going to come on right away. Now, if you took it into the house where it's 70 degrees, in a few minutes, it will come on because, boom, it's 70 degrees. So I'm just letting you know, if it doesn't come on anytime soon, that's because it's already reached the temperature it wants to get. So know this. You just gotta become some skilled in something. Be skilled in something. Drywall, something. Thank God you are streaming, man. I need to get the. You are a light for me. Hey, man, I'm trying to help everybody. The app is called Thumbtack. Okay, make yourself valuable. Make yourself valuable. The refrigerator hustle is. Let me tell you something. I bought a refrigerator yesterday off of some Latinos, man. I went to the address they gave me. These guys were in like a warehouse district type of thing where you can rent out warehouses. And they had two different warehouses. And when I walked in there, I thought I was just going to see my fridge. No, they had refrigerators, stoves, the whole nine, right? And he was like, "This is the one you've seen, blah, blah, blah." And I was like, "Oh, you guys are for real? You guys doing the whole thing?" They even had a tech, somebody who fixed. See, I'm a one-man band. You know what I'm saying? So he even had a tech. Now, he didn't know how to fix refrigerators, but he's like, "We got a person who does that." You know what I'm saying? So I was looking around at all the stuff in there, and I said, "You know what? I don't even want this one. Give me this one right here." He's like, "Yeah, this one. We can sell this for." Picked up a nice refrigerator, posted it. I bet I'm probably gonna sell that in about 4 days. It'll be gone. $100. I'm selling it for 400. Somebody will buy it. I'll get 450 out of it because delivery is $50. I'm trying to tell you. And there's a guy that I deal with who's at my storage unit. This guy has one, two, three. He's got four storage units now. This guy, him and his girl, mad hustle, mad hustle. And the beautiful thing is, most of the people come and pick up from him. They come right to him pick up. So I mean, it's just the refrigerator game is insane. Listen, one of us can buy a fridge, and then another one of us will come and buy that fridge from that person and then sell that fridge. So what happens sometimes, he'll get a fridge, right? He gets the fridges from his guys who work for department stores. They'll come, they'll say, "This is what we got. We don't know if they work." He'll look at them, they'll give him a price. They'll make the trade. Boom, he'll plug the fridge in. Boom, it doesn't work, right? He calls me. he calls me and a few other people and he says, "This is what I got. I don't know what's wrong with it, but it doesn't work." I'll give him $50 for the broken fridge once I look at it. Because I'll say, "What's it doing?" You know what I mean? And that pretty much determines how much money I can put into it. You know, so I want to know: is it, are the lights blinking? Is it coming on at all? Is there any light on the inside? What does it smell like? Like, I go through the whole detail when I ask him these questions, and/or I'll look at it and I'll listen to the compressor. I'll see if I can hear the relay switch. Because if it turns on and then it turns on and then it turns off, that can be a $40 part, or that could be a $350 job. You don't know what it is. You could need a new motherboard, or you could just need a new relay switch, or you could just need a fuse in your PVC board. I mean, it could just be something. When I say small, I mean that physically. A fuse in a PVC board is real small, but if that fuse is blown out, you're not. It's not going to start. Your refrigerator is not going to start it. So you have to go through all these things to figure out what it is. So I'm like, boom, I'll buy it. Sometimes I'll put $200 into a refrigerator, just because now I know if I see this again, I know exactly what to do. And customers call me. I do house calls too. So a customer call me and say, "Hey, I have this kind of fridge and this is what it's doing." Well, being that I'm fixing on them, I recognize what it is, and I go right to them, and I give them my price. I know it's going to cost about $1.50 for them in labor, and once I look at it, listen to it, give it the smell test, I'm like, "This is what's wrong with it." I'm googling appliances to fix right now. Yeah, Google them and start. Listen, get into the game. Get into the game. Get into the doggone game. Get a storage unit. I start off with a small storage unit. I'm trying to tell you, get into the summer loving game, because it will never, ever, ever stop. It'll never, ever, listen, it'll never stop. There will always be appliances for sale. There are so many people into it, you just don't even know. And the thing about it is, you could go to a supplier, and that supplier can have broken refrigerators that they're trying to get rid of, or they're selling for parts, and you can start negotiating with that. Like, I saw a refrigerator there. I didn't buy it, but he only wanted $50 for it. It was a working refrigerator, but it needed, some touching up to it. I'm trying to tell you, my next refrigerator that I sell, if that refrigerator's still there, I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna go get it because I know I can. I'm gonna put about maybe $50 more into it. I'm gonna sell it for. I'm gonna sell it for around $200. I'm gonna get $250 because of delivery. Boom! I'm gonna make money on it. And don't be afraid to buy something and it that's broken. Just don't. And get on there and start Googling. Start getting into it. And now, listen, I can walk into somebody's house now, and I haven't even done the pressure stuff. I haven't taken out a compressor yet. I mean, I haven't taken out. There's a lot of stuff I haven't even done. I haven't fixed the motherboard yet. I mean, there is a lot of testing that I've never done. I haven't used a leak detector yet, but nonetheless, when people call me, I'm very honest about what I haven't done and what I can do. And that's why I price myself according to my skills. Now, when I know how to take out a compressor and I get all that stuff to do it, and then after you put the compressor in, you gotta update the motherboard. All that stuff takes time. Then my price is gonna go through the roof if I gotta come over to your house. Instead of being 75 an hour, it's gonna be like 150 to 200. Now it's gonna go through the roof. It's gonna go through the roof because that stuff takes a lot of time. especially if I have to vacuum out, if I have to vacuum it out, put a new filter on it, I have to pay for that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, it's gonna go through the roof. Or let's just say that you do have a leak, and I have to solder that leak. It's gonna take me, time to do it. So I have to charge them for that. So or they can, or I can, or you. This is another thing about refrigerators and appliances. You can find the problem but not fix it. You can on the initial phone call, they'll say, "Hey, we need you to come over and do this," and you tell them, uh, "Okay, I don't have any parts on me. I don't know what's wrong with your, but I tell you what I can do. I can come over there and diagnose for you, and you can go over there, start playing with the motherboard and seeing what's going on with the power and see if you can figure out, what's happening. And it's intricate because the motherboard, it ain't no this ain't no joke. I'm just gonna show you one motherboard. I'm not even gonna show you. I'm just gonna show you this beautiful LG right here. I'm not even gonna show you the Samsung. When this is sitting in when this is sitting in somebody's refrigerator, you have to figure out where the power is going into. So you have to be able to look at this and know exactly what it is. The power is coming in over here. This is where the power comes in, right here. And this is how you have to test it. The power is coming in here, in here, and it's going through here, which means it's going up this way. And all these things here are your sensors and all these gadgets. And sometimes it's going to take you a while to figure out what's doing what, because it could be one of these could be burned out. So when a motherboard is messing up, see, there's your power right there. When a motherboard's messing up, the first thing you check is it getting power? And you can usually know that because of what the refrigerator is doing. But if you know that it's getting power, then you start looking at these right here. Are they swollen up? Are they disconnected? You can turn around and see if it has any burn marks on it. You can smell it. You can look at it and see if it has any marks on it. Then you got to follow the power. Then you got to look at these right here and see if they're bulging. Because if any of these are bulging, this is where the problem is. Power came through here, boom, it blew one of these out. Now you have to go on the Molac and order it online. And then you have to take this one out and solder the next one on there. I'm trying to tell you, they're gonna pay for all that. You're gonna you're gonna fix this motherboard, and they're gonna pay you $600 just for fixing a motherboard. They're gonna pay you. You're gonna be like, this is what the problem is. You're gonna test it. You're gonna ohm it out. You're gonna know what your ohms are. You're gonna know what it is, and then you're gonna be like, your motherboard's bad, and you got two choices. You're either gonna buy another motherboard for brand new for $240 to $340 plus installation, or you're gonna pay me, $400 or $500. So whatever you want to do, you let me know. I'm trying to tell you, get into the game. Get in it somewhere. It ain't even got to be refrigerators. This is anything electronic. And as soon as listen, like, I'm known for being the refrigerator guy. People usually come and buy a refrigerator from me. Landlords be like, yeah, I'll call my refrigerator guy. Boom, they'll call me. I'll be like, yeah, I got one. Or if the refrigerator goes wrong, they say, Anthony, hey, do you know, can you tell me what's wrong with this refrigerator? I'll be like, tell me where it's at. I'll come over and look at it. This is how much it's going to be an hour. They do not even hesitate. They don't. I just had a landlord call me about 4 days ago. He was like, yeah, you're the one that helped me put my refrigerator in the house. He's like, now I want you to go Go and locate where this guy is. He's gonna sell you a dryer. I'm gonna pay him by Cash App. Load up the dryer and bring it to this address. Easily $135. Easy. Easy. I was like, I'll do it. This is how much it's gonna cost. Easy. Took it to him, took it in the house, boom, put it in, boom, hooked it up, switched the cords on it from a 3 to a 4 prong, boom, hooked it up. Had a little trouble with that last screw and he had to put it in, but I did my job pretty much. Easy $135, just out of nowhere, boom. I used to work 2-3 days just to get that money. Get into the game, keep your day job, do fridges at night. I'm gonna tell you something. Once somebody finds out that you know about appliances, they're going to tell somebody else. I'm trying to tell you, and the majority of people you're going to deal with are women. That's the majority of people you're going to deal with. And I'm going to tell you something. The majority of those women don't know a damn thing about appliances. Like I said, I had to argue with a lady for damn 2 days about the refrigerator I sold her. She just knew she was smarter than me. And I was like, lady, you're wrong. You don't know anything. And you know what? She still has it. She still has the fridge I sold her. She just wanted to argue and tried to basically get me to give her money back and stuff like that. And I'm like, no, it doesn't work like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're not, it just took a minute for me to realize what she was doing, but she still has a fridge. I haven't heard from her. I'm just saying, you guys, get into the game. You guys who are working these 9 to 5s, there's nothing wrong with it. But if you think that your job does not value you know why they don't value you? Because they think that you're easily replaceable. What you need to do is find something that's valuable and that everybody needs. You can become a master painter. I know a guy who was like in his 80s still rocking, well, he's about 70 something, still out there painting. Come home every day with his painting gear on, still doing it. Call on him, he'll come and paint your house. Do something where everybody needs you. Learn how to run a heavy equipment. Just do it. Learn how to be OSHA qualified. A lot of stuff is just getting on the internet and learning and reading it, and then start calling whatever state you're at. And hey, how do I do? Call the Department of Health. I've called the health department before and said, hey, I'm interested in this. What got you into appliances? How did you get started? I'm going to tell you what got me into it. I was broke at the last apartment where I was living at. I was broke, and we when people move in and out, they throw their trash like boom right there. And some people moved out, and I had like $0 in the bank. Um, and I was like, and I remember that too. I was like, damn, I don't have no money. And so I looked outside, and I just was kind of standing on my porch, and I saw a bike, a stationary bike. I was like, I bet that still works. So I went out there and grabbed it, bring it in the house, boom, saw that it still worked, put it up on OfferUp. Somebody came and got it within a couple days, $60. I was like, okay, $60. That's some groceries. That's what I needed. I was hungry. I ran out of groceries. So I was like, okay, $60 worth of groceries, right? And then my apartment raised the rent. When they raised the rent, most people decided they weren't going to pay $700 to live there. So there was a mass exodus, right? And when all these people left, really what they wanted to do is they wanted you to leave so they can get a hold of your apartment and then raise the rent up to even higher than what we were paying for. So they were trying to get rid of people, and it worked. And I had watched my neighbors move, And then the maintenance guys went over there and they tore out the cabinets. They tore out the refrigerator, the stove, the dishwasher, the the kitchen sink, the bathtub, the toilet, the bathroom sink. They tore it all out and redid the whole thing. You know what I did? I was looking and I went to them and I said, "Hey, can I have this refrigerator and stove?" And they said, "Yeah." I knew the people that lived there, so I knew all of it worked. That's how I got into refrigerators. I took it, looked at it, put it on my back porch, cleaned it up, sprayed it off, put it on offer up, and I sold it for $80. Boom. I'm not hungry no more. That was it. I took the dishwasher, sold it for $50. Boom, not hungry. I took the stove, sold it for $100. Boom, not hungry. And then when I all I did was I just kept following them around. Then they got to know me. And they saw what I was doing, and then they started going, you know what, we're gonna stop giving him refrigerators. So when that slowed down, it was already too late because I had found two guys on the internet where they go into people's apartments and deliver them the new fridge, take the old ones, so they instantly became a supplier, and boom. So I had them, and I had another crew as a supplier, and I was pretty much flying high by then. And when I lost those two suppliers, I had I was just going on to Facebook and looking at the refrigerators on there and looking for the ones that were inexpensive, just like I did today. I bought a very nice refrigerator for $20 today. I've been doing the same thing for the last 4 years. I look at $50 and under. I try to see what's wrong with it. A lot of time the refrigerator already works, but there's something, there might be a scratch on it, there might be missing the handles. Then you have to find out how much the handles are. I had was looking at one refrigerator, and the guy was like $50 for this refrigerator. It's got a little rust on it, paint instantly. Go right down to Sherman Williams. You can get yourself some paint. It'll match right up to it. Eggshell white. Boom. I run up into Sherman Williams in a heartbeat. Boom. Hit it with the paint. Real good. I paint the inside. I paint the whole thing. Trying to tell you. And that's how you do it. You just hustle. I haven't been broke since. I have not been broke since. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have a lot of money, but I'm not broke. I'm not. But I don't spend a lot of money. I don't have a lot of habits. I don't have to take care of a family. It's harder. Like, wife and kids, that's harder. You know what I'm saying? Um, uh, Plus, I got other income. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to the refrigerator game, there's so many aspects of it. People sometimes just want me to deliver the fridge. They're like, "Hey, can you just take this there?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Or like I got the old lady hit me the other day. Her and her friends will be like, "Hey, Anthony will take your stuff from here to here," because they like to go online and order stuff, and it'll be 5 miles down the street, but they don't have no truck. So they'll call me and say, "Hey, could you come get it from there to there?" And I'll charge them $60. Boom. And I'll do boom, boom, $60, and they're happy. It's not an arm and a leg, and I'll take it in the house or whatever and set it up nice and do a little stuff. And they'll always remember me. They call me every now and then. So I'm just saying, you can be, I have situations where I don't even leave the house and I'll still make money because somebody will ask me a question, what I'm saying, about refrigerators. And usually I don't charge for it, but if I have to spend a good time trying to figure out what it is, then I'll be like $40, I'll tell you what it is. You know what I'm saying? So they'll be like, bet, and I'll spend an hour with them for that $40. And, they'll be at home going through this, that, and the third, and then boom, they'll usually find out what it is because sometimes it's actually the house, not the fridge. Like the lady I got the refrigerator from today, it was actually her house. It was not the fridge. So that's another thing. This is freedom better than a 9 to 5. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it is better than 9 to 5. I mean, my back hurts a little bit, but I can sleep all day tomorrow if I want to. But and it also allows you to get into to other things, is because the I don't spend 8 hours delivering refrigerators. I just don't do that. Usually, if somebody buys a refrigerator from me, that might be an hour and a half. That's from start to finish. That's from me waking up, boom, getting that phone call or the text, or them hit me up on Facebook and giving me their address. That's from me hitting the front door and then coming hitting the front door home. You know, it's just that easy. And another thing is, you guys, the junkyard. For you guys who have listen, I've seen this one lady pull up in a sedan and her two preteen daughters, and she had the she had that damn car full of whatever she needed them. She needed the money, and I told her, I said, "Listen, you can go right down to U-Haul and put a hitch on your car." And I said, "You can you can get a trailer for $35." And she said, "Oh, I really didn't know that." Yet, see, when I started delivering refrigerators, I was doing it in the back of my Tahoe. So I was picking the refrigerator up and pushing in. That hurt your back doing that. Well, then, if I had to go somewhere, I might have had to go to Pittsburgh or something. I would go down to U-Haul and pay them $38, and I get a nice trailer. Boom, I'll be out and back. I'm trying to tell you. And I'll run anywhere. If somebody from Indiana called me and say, "Hey, I need you to, do this, that, and the third," I'll be like, "Man, this is probably gonna cost you about $500 for me to travel, but I'll deliver it. I'll get right in my truck and deliver it." You know what I'm saying? That's how I got that other truck. I got it from flipping refrigerators, and I paid it cash. I just boom. I need another truck. So I'm just telling you guys, I don't do this to brag, because I don't really tell you guys a lot of numbers. I do it to you guys that call me up and or hit me up and say you're going through a hard time. I'm like, listen, if you're going through a hard time, we all go through hard times. Nobody is immune to hard times. But one thing that'll make your hard time easier is if you had more money, and that's just a fact. If you don't have money in your pocket, your hard times is compounded. But as soon as you get a nice crisp $100 bill in your pocket, it changes things. It changes things immediately. You're like, all right, well, see, you start seeing your way through it. You start navigating your way through it. You know what I'm saying? You're like, well, shoot, I got $100 on that, ham sandwich. You're looking at it like, well, at least I can eat. I can put some gas in the roller. I got this going on. You know what I'm saying? And if you can take a percentage of that $100, take a 20 and then go buy something else, that's gonna make you another $100. See, now you're in the game. I got a homie who rents houses. Well, he rents an apartment and he lives in another one, right? What he did was he was selling hair equipment, you know, uh, and stuff like that. He was selling that stuff, and he was like, "Man, I made a lot of money." You know what I'm saying? So there's all kind of hustles out there. I just like the refrigerator game because it's intriguing to me, and because there are so many angles to it. It's not just you're just fixing a refrigerator. It's the all the other people that come at you, and they want your services, and it's just a beautiful thing that people just call you out of nowhere and offer you 50, 60, 70, $80. And listen, I got a guy that calls me and he's like, "Can you do a delivery for me?" I did one today, right? Now, it was just a drop off, so it's easy $50, right? Usually I have to take the refrigerator in the house. I charge the customer $40 more to do that. And he tells them that. He's like, "Your delivery is going to be $50. And if he has to take it in the house, he's going to charge you another $40. So that's $90, right? If the refrigerator they have is still working, which I'm going to ask about, I'm going to be like, "What's wrong with it?" We just don't want it anymore, so on and so forth. I'm going to take that refrigerator and then what? I'm going to resell it. If the refrigerator is broken beyond repair, beyond repair, and I don't think I can, or I don't want to deal with it, what do you think I'm gonna do with it? I'm gonna take it to the junkyard. I took a refrigerator to the junkyard a couple days ago. I got 14, almost $15 for it. The job I did paid me $80, so I got $95 out of it. It adds up. It's not. You're like, oh, that's not a lot of money. I'm like, well, wait a minute now. If you've been listening to what I've been saying for the last 1, 2, 3 days, if I really told you, what I made, and if we stretch that out to like almost 2 weeks, you'd be like, oh hell no, you didn't. I'd be like, yeah, oh hell yes, I did. Now, and I sat here and I just told you about one, two, three, four customers. Uh, one, two, three, four, five different customers within the last 3 days. Two of them today. Excuse me, three customers today alone. I ain't even plan on working today, but they was like, hey, deliver it to me tomorrow. Three customers today. Get into the game. And they all wanted different things. One was a delivery, just a delivery. The other one bought my refrigerator from me. I got that refrigerator from somebody I sold a refrigerator to. I bought a refrigerator for $50. I sold that refrigerator for, oh shoot, I sold that I sold it for a lot. And the thing about it was that particular refrigerator was a GE. So because of the brand, and I know about the brands, I branded it differently on different sites. So from one site, I put on an amount, and for another site, I put on a different amount. Now, the one site where I put on the higher amount is because I seen other refrigerators on there for higher amounts. If the other website I seen, it was refrigerators for less amounts, but I had an amount that I could take and be okay and still make money. So I just played the game. I said, I'm gonna put you here for this much, and I'm gonna put you here for this much. Boom. What happened? The person from the one higher website seen it. Boom. I wanted it, and the reason why she wanted it is because it matched her stove. I took her old refrigerator. I just sold it today. Boom. One customer, two refrigerators. I'm not hungry. I'm not hungry. So like I said, I'm not bragging. I'm telling you guys, get into the game. Look, even if you just wanted to fix compressors, you don't want to do nothing else. You don't want to go to nobody's house. You don't want to exchange compressors. All you want to do is take apart the compressor, look at it, see what happened to it, put it back together, boom, resell compressors. That's all you want to do. You want to sit at home and tinker with metal and look at, uh, the 4 and 3 ratios, and and figure out why this compressor got up to 300 degrees, completely burned itself out. It's a whole world of the compressors themselves. And I'm gonna tell you what happened if you do that. If you sat at home and took apart a refrigerator compressor, just one, let's say it's an LG, because right now they're not that, people are replacing a lot of LG compressors. So you took apart a compressor that was not even a year old. You boom, try to figure out what happened to it. Why isn't it coming on? Put a relay switch to it, put a plug to it. Boom, the compressor doesn't come on, right? Your relay switch is good. You're getting 120. This compressor is not getting any power. You cut it open to find out what's going on with it. Why isn't it turning the gas and compressing the gas is what you want to know. Well, once you find out what happened to it, it could be something small, it could be something big, but it'll probably be something small. Boom, you figure it out, you fix it, you put it back together, you weld it back on, boom, you plug it in, boom, it fires right up. You take that, you sell it. Now you're probably going to get it cheap because nobody wants it. See, this is the game. You're going to buy that compressor for maybe $20. Nobody wants it. You're gonna buy a broken. Nobody wants a broken compressor. They don't want them. They're throwing them away. I'm telling you that now. You're gonna buy it for $20. You're gonna take it. You're gonna say it's refurbished. You're gonna put your stamp and your warranty on it. And when people see that, they're gonna come and they're gonna buy it from you. So you can sell it to whoever. You can sell it online. You can have a storefront. I wouldn't do that, but you can. You know what I'm saying? Once you get a reputation for fixing them, you have no idea how many people are going to be coming to you just for the compressor. Because LG, that is made overseas. Life's Good, that stuff's made overseas. That stuff is made in China. So when you get it over here and it fails, you're going to be the fastest link to get that compressor fixed and back into that refrigerator. So the customer is going to tell the tech who doesn't want to fix it, because there are techs who don't fix nothing. They just come in and tell you what's wrong. So the tech who doesn't want to fix it, he's going to go, your compressor's gone. He's going to do a compressor test, which is, there's ways you can tell what the compressor, there's ways that you can tell that the compressor isn't working. The first one is the relay switch. And you hear a click, then another click, the compressor is not working. Okay, so you test your relay switch, right? Boom, boom, boom. You hear the beep, boom. The relay switch is working. You put your you test your compressor. Your compressor has three prongs, right, like this, right? So you got to take your black and your red and you touch it to these two. It's gonna go beep. You take your black and your red, you touch to these. It's gonna go beep. You take your black and your red, you touch it to these, and it doesn't do anything. The compressor's grounded. That means it's not going to work. It's just not going to come on. That compressor is ruined. It's grounded. Or if you don't do it like that, you have your three prongs, right? You take your black here and then you take your red and touch it to the body of it. So it'd be like this. If it goes beep, that compressor is grounded. It's not going to work. So you're going to have to weld and loosen up the weldings on it and take it out, put another one in, and do that whole dance. Well, when you take it out, where's it going? People are throwing them away. It's going right in the garbage. You're like, oh, hell no. I'll take it. So what you do is you tell the techs, listen, I'll take the broken compressor. I'll buy it from you, $20. They're gonna sell, they're gonna be happy to sell it to you because they're throwing it away, but now they're making $20 off of it. Because they're just piling them up and taking them to the junkyard or, whatever. Now you're giving them $20 for it. Boom, they're going to sell it to you. So they're going to bring you five of them. Boom, here's $100 piece. You might ask them a few questions. What happened to it? Why didn't it come on? This, that, and the third. You'd be like, okay, cool. You're going to take it into your crib. You're going to cut it open. You're going to look inside of it, and it might be a 5-second job. Boom, do this, that, boom, boom. Weld it back together, boom, plug it in, boom, this one works. You're going to be like, hey, this one works. You're going to sell it. Or you might tell, or the tech might say, if you can fix it, I'll buy it back from you. And then go put it in another one. That's what I'm saying. It's just that easy. And now you're the guy. You're the compressor guy. You're the with the motor. And you're never going to run out of work. Never. You will never, ever, 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 ever run out of work. There'll never be not somebody who has a broken compressor. It'll never happen. Never happen. I'm telling you. So I'm just saying, you guys, make yourself valuable. Now, that might not be something you want to get into, but you could look at, you want to do lawn care. I seen a guy out, he had a big, one of them snow plows on, he's getting ready to do the thing with that. And he had the salty dog thing on the back where he, it sifts out the salt. And my neighbor does something like that because he's got a big old Ram 1500 out there. You know what I'm saying? And this guy is 77 years old. He came to me and he was like, yeah, man, all these warehouses around here. He says, I start going to these warehouses and ask them if they had a load that they wanted to get delivered, and they were saying yes, they do. So he was talking to me because he was asking about my trailer. Just like that, that guy's retired, ex-military, and he's retired. He's like, yeah, I could use the money. You know, he's saying they'll if you back the trailer up, they'll load it, they'll give you the manifest destiny or whatever, and boom, out you go. I'm saying it's just that easy. And he's like, I'm 77, I'm not touching anything. So you can do a no touch, meaning you don't have to get out your truck and load it. As soon as you back it up, somebody's gonna load it for you. You guys make yourself valuable. You got a car, you got a truck, you can do any of that stuff. You listen, you can go to U-Haul and put a hitch on your car. Just like that. Just like that. So I mean, if you're looking like, man, I got a sedan, I'm trying to tell you, you can pull with that sedan. You can pull with that sedan. I don't know what you got. You might got a little, Chevy something or a little Dodge, whatever. I'm trying to tell you, you can pull with it. Find out for yourself. Make some phone calls and see who needs something delivered. You can do it. I know a guy who was delivering. He was doing the whole food thing for seniors. I was like, "How old are you, man?" He's like, "Man, I'm 65." He out there hustling. I was like, "You own that van?" He's like, "Nah, company owns it." He just drives around, stops at the address, does the food thing, boom, boom, gets back in, takes off. That's it. So, like I said, I'm not bragging. I'm trying to encourage you guys to, you know, I'm trying to get you guys to think outside the bun. You know what I mean? Just if you keep if you keep hoping that your employer is going to see you a certain type of way or an employer is going to see you a certain type of way, do not put your hope in an employer. Yeah, be encouraged, man. Don't put your hope in an employer. Don't put your hope in a landlord. Put your hope in. Listen, if you're gonna hope on something, hope on Jesus. You know what I'm saying? But tell and like, look, Jesus, I need some skills. And he's gonna give you some. You know, you may think that you don't have any skills, but I'm telling you, you got some of these going on. You can grab a hold of a vice grip and do righty tighty, lefty loosey. You got some skills, and I'm gonna tell you something. I went to a I went to the job fair, and I was talking to Kroger's. They were like, "We need," and I told them what I do. They was like, "You know what? We need a maintenance guy." I was like, "What's the pay?" They said 27 an hour. You know what the average pay is now? The average pay is around 40, so 42. They are paying 52 to start. 52 to start. Reason why I ain't take it is because I don't think I can be a maintenance man with my back hurting like it does. But I'm still thinking about it. But 52 to start, that's what I'm saying. If you can turn that wrench, you can be a maintenance tech. Temporary service was there, and they were like, "We need a maintenance guy, direct hire right now." I was like, "What's a pay?" That was like 47 to start a year. Not bad. It's still way above average. 47 to start. I was like, but are they doing the living quarters? Which I was asking if they're allowing the maintenance man to live on a property for free. That makes a difference. But I'm just saying, I've talked to plenty of landlords and they want me to come work for them. So you might be in a position where you feel like you're not wanted. Well, I'm not in that position because I went out and learned something and I like doing it. I just don't want to do it for nobody else. But you might be younger than me. Your back probably isn't hurting like mine. Heck, if I had this opportunity 20 years ago, I would have been done it. I would have been done it, especially for Kroger's. I'd work for Kroger's in a heartbeat, but I might not be able to keep up now. You know what I mean? Might not be able to do it. So that's why I'm like, I'm almost 60 years old. So, I don't walk as fast as I used to. And, you know, I don't want to, I don't want to get into it and then get burned out of it real quick. But I also have a college degree. So if I went and worked for Kroger's, I can tell you right now, I would get in there, do maintenance, try to hang in there for about 6 months, and then I would apply for something that's not so arduous. But it's a great company. I would slide into something like safety manager or something, you know, because of my degree, which is in health administration. I would just be like, okay, I want to be safety assistant manager or something like that. And I would just slide right over in that position. And, if it's paying, 54, 55, I'll be like, you know what, it's a lateral slide. I'll do it. And I just slide right over. Because I still like putting my hands on metal and fixing stuff. But, I'm an educated dude. I can't just leave that out. And, you know, I'd still mess around with some maintenance every now and then. I don't mind. But I would have the option. See, there it is. I have the option. See, now I'm more valuable to the company. Now, I'm your safety guy. I'm looking at what's going on, and now I understand the equipment because I've worked on it, and you've seen me work on it. So when I come around and say, "Hey, you know, Joe, you can't it's probably best if you wouldn't do this according to safety spec." And you go, "Oh man, I blah 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 blah. You ain't never done this." And be like, "Well, on contraire, mon frere, I was the one fixing these, and I know if you put your arm over there again, it's gonna get snatched off. Now you play games if you want to. That's your arm, but I wouldn't do it anymore." And I would walk away. Safety manager. And I'll start off as an assistant, work my way up to the head dog, and then go back to school at night. That's fine with me. Go get my master's degree and then boom, take that and move up to the next level. And just stay with the company until I don't feel like working anymore. So I'm saying you guys can make yourself valuable and don't make it all about working for somebody else. Don't do that. But see, if I if I put on, okay, so let's just say I went and took one of these, jobs as a maintenance tech, and I decided I don't want to work for that company anymore. How long do you think I'm gonna be unemployed? The answer, not very long at all, if at all, because everybody's looking for maintenance guys. The problem with that is maintenance techs get burned out. You have to check the attrition rate. You know what I'm saying? Why people are leaving that particular position. They get burned out. They get tired. In this job, they want you there at 4 in the morning. Yeah, you're gonna get tired of it. So as I'm saying, if you get a job, you're like, okay, this is cool, but if you got some kind of issue with it, you got to understand that you need to educate yourself in something else. And it, like I said, it could be lateral. If you're doing this over here and you want to move over here, hey, if you want to go from fries to lettuce, then you need to start learning about foliage real quick. That's on you. But it's in the same, you can just make that lateral slide. You're not losing any money. You're not making less money. You know what I'm saying? And then you can go from there to prep cook to uh, uh, all the way up to freaking sous chef. and just doing a damn thing. You started from the bottom, now you're here. It's just that you just working your hand and boom, 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 boom. Go from there to expediter. Go from expediter to now you're the one cooking the steaks. Go from there. Now you're the one making the soups and the Béarnaise sauce and all that other stuff. Now you're right up under the chef as an assistant, and then the chef is looking at you like, "All right, I see you," and then starts handing you more responsibility. What are the chances that you're going to stay at a lower paying job? It's not. You're not, and they know it. Because once the F&B sees you doing all that and sees you moving up and going from one to the other, making that little 50 cent to $1 raise every time you move up, she or he is going to look at you and they're going to be like, you are an asset. And then if you combine that, com, combine that, I try to say two words at once, combine that with education, you go, well, yeah, I have a degree in this. And they're going to be looking at you like, damn, why didn't you tell us you had a degree? Because I wanted to learn from the bottom and work my way up. Once they see you have that degree, you're going to go right past whoever was in your way. Or you have a certificate, or you're going to night school. I know a guy who went to night school for 10 years and he was already married. 10 years to get his education. Make yourself valuable. Find a certificate, something out there. Look, look, I've been beat down like a lot of you. Here's what I don't want you guys to do. I don't want you guys to be, I want you guys to be better than me. That's what I want. I want you guys to be better than me. I want you guys to be exactly what you want to be. But if you're, 25 right now and you're catching hell, listen, call up an apprentice program. Just figure it out. Call up an electrician's apprentice program. They'll take you and become a stooge. And they're gonna mess with you. And but they're gonna teach you. And once you get it, and it's a 5 year program. A 5 year program. There are two ways to become an electrician. There are two routes to become an electrician. And if you're under somebody, and listen, if you're 23, 25 years old, 5 years is nothing. Once you hit 30, 31, you're your own electrician. You be doing $35,000 a job. You're your own electric. Think about that. Or a plumber, same thing. You're either union or non-union, one or the other. And here's a beautiful thing about that. Once you learn enough, you can still go out and do your own jobs according to what a customer asks you for. But you're still an apprentice. So you can go on Facebook and be like, Tone's Electrician Company or whatever. And it's just you. You pull up in a van and, whatever, and say, what do you need done? And when they say what they need done, you calculate it if that's within your bag or not. If you have those skills, that when you're done with this job, that person's going to give you a 5-star rating. If somebody asked, like a customer asked me, he asked me, did I put Freon inside of refrigerators? And at that time, I said no. Now I do. I know the compression. I know I can sit there and watch it. I can tell if it's full or not, tell if you need some or not. The whole valve, the piercing valves, the whole nine. I can look and see how it goes, and boom, that's what I did. I looked, saw how it went, and I kept looking, and I started asking questions, and then I tried it myself, and then boom, I can walk into somebody's house and put Freon in it. How much more valuable am I now? If you're an electrician and you're still learning, nothing's wrong with that. But if you know how to do some jobs that are kind of mid and will still get money in your pocket, you can just put that out there that I'm in electric school, but this is what I can do. I can do plugs. I can do, whatever the gambit is within your talent, and you list what you can do. And what's going to happen is somebody's going to see that and they're going to be like, the storm just blew out my plug. You know, I don't know if it's grounded or not. I don't know what's going on. Boom. My refrigerator's not working. All my food is ruined. Boom. You're going to call it. They're going to call you because you know how to do this. You're going to come. You're going to look at the switchboard, however you do it. And then you're going to, boom, I've done this before. Boom, 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 boom. And I'm telling you, there's nothing like doing your first house call. There's also nothing like getting stuck on your first house call. There's nothing like doing a job and you don't know what you're doing. You're just like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. But this I do know. I got called out to a house because I sold a refrigerator to a customer, and the guy who called me to this house was the one who picked it up and delivered it. So he was one of the guys who was doing the delivery. Well, he was like, call this guy, have him come over and look at your refrigerator. His sister called me, boom. I come over, I see that I looked at the refrigerator, it's a Samsung. I'm like, okay, this is a Samsung 3 door. I play with them all the time. I got one right now. And I'm like, okay, what's the problem? She says, my freezer is getting warm. Now, I already know some of the ways that your freezer can get warm, right? And so what I did was I told her, listen, I'm going to run a diagnostic on your refrigerator and I'm going to make it go down and make your fans and all that see if they're going to come on, and I'm going to make your temperature go down. And it might last for a few minutes. It might last, I don't know how long it's going to last. But if that temperature starts coming back up, I think I know what's wrong with your refrigerator. Boom, I hit a couple buttons. Boom, compressor came on, the fans kicked in, started going down, boom. And then as soon as they turned off, it went right back up. She said, okay, I see the temperature's going right back up. And I was showing her what I was doing and how to do it. I said, something's either wrong with your electricity or you have this part that's blown out, which is your heating element. I said, now I could get down there and dig in it, try to figure it out, but it's going to cost you about another $150. So when I went and I tested her sockets first, I didn't charge her for that. I started testing her sockets. I found out that she didn't have enough power. She had 119 in one socket. She had 114 in another. So I tested her sockets in her living room and in another room, and I said, "You have at least 120 or 120 coming out of here. Take an extension cord, run it and plug it into there, and then tell me what happens from there." I said, "Give me a call from there." She said, "How much do I owe you?" And I said, $50. That's it. I haven't heard from her since until I had a delivery over there. I delivered a washer and dryer, and she said, "You know what? I haven't had a problem with my refrigerator since." I don't know how to take apart a compressor, but I did know how to do that. $50 in my pocket. Right now, that call would cost about $75. And because the more I know, the more valuable I am, the more I'm going to get paid. So that's what I'm telling you guys. Be encouraged. Learn something that everybody needs. Put yourself in the way of the wave of money. Put yourself in the way. Don't sit up there and jaw jack about, man, I could be and I could have been this. Nah. Get in the way of money. Just get in the way. Just get in the way of money. Next thing you know, people will start handing you money. And don't forget the little places like the junkyard. There are people who make money every day at the junkyard. That's what they do every day. They look for stuff to take to the junkyard. Don't be ashamed of the junkyard. The junkyard is your friend. The junkyard is so your friend. You know what I'm saying? Go to that junkyard, learn about, and another thing, the junkyard, the money you make off the junkyard, the weight of the metal depends on what metal that you're getting. That dollar amount fluctuates all the time. And the reason why it does is because it goes according to the stock market. So you can ask the junkyard, what is the price of copper today? And when you do that, let's just say you have a bunch of copper you already stripped, right? You have a bunch of it. You want to bring it in. You can wait until the price of copper goes up. You see what I mean? So you can get more dollars for it. Because the price of copper is down, you're just like, I'm not gonna do it this week. But then the next week the price of copper goes sky high. You go in there and be like, boom, I got so many pounds of copper, you're gonna get a nice paycheck. Be smart about it. I've seen people walk to the junkyard with stuff thrown in a grocery cart and just walking to the junkyard. Probably gonna make $10 maybe. Not even that. Not even that. It's not probably three, maybe $3. Maybe. Listen, the refrigerator I just got rid of weighed almost 200 pounds. I got $15 for it. They're not going to make much off of what they got. But if they got copper, they might make more. Copper makes more than anything, I think. So people bring in copper, aluminum. One guy, he had engines, he had motors. I was like, you're going to get a good bid for that. He was like, I don't sell these guys my motors. I take them to another place. They give me more money for it. So know your junkyards. I usually just go to one because I have the same thing. Make yourself valuable and don't let nobody, get in your way of it. It's another thing. Don't let nobody look at you and look down on you because my neighbors was looking down on me until I pulled up with a nice truck. Neighbors that wouldn't even speak to me came and started speaking to me when they seen that truck. They was like, "What?" Yeah, they thought they was better than me. They didn't know I was doing very well. I was doing good. And if I get another supplier, I'm gonna be doing even better. If I can get a supplier to sell them to me for, sell me the good ones for like 65, $70. Yeah. Especially if the price goes back up for refrigerators. Hmm. I'll probably be selling about three or four a week, and that's out of my stable, and then get the old ones that I'm picking up, take those, and then sell them. If I can get four refrigerators a week, if I can get four of them a week, that would put me at for the average. Yeah, if I can average four of them a week plus a delivery, that'd be nice. I'd be in the game. I'd be in the game real good. And I just found another supplier today, so he's in the same game, but he's still selling fridges for $100. You selling them for $100 with minor issues. He sell refrigerator parts too. That's another thing. You see a refrigerator on the side of the road, you can either take it to the junkyard or you can take it, clean it up, see if it works, or you can take it, clean it up, and sell the parts. I'll tell you some of the most expensive parts on a refrigerator: the crispers, little drawers at the bottom where you put your little food, little lettuce and stuff at. Things are like $80 for a little plastic crisper. $80. Kid you not. Kid you not. 80 freaking dollars. Those things are expensive. Same thing with washing machines. You find a GE washing machine, sell the parts. Yeah, sell the parts to it. Take it apart and sell it. I know some guys who do that. They sell every single part of whatever they find. And they have a whole yard full of appliances. And they just sit there and take all the stuff apart and then flip it on eBay. I know a lady who she takes this lady something else. What she does, instead of taking, okay, so this is a start relay, right? This right here. This is what starts your refrigerator. It's what starts the engine to your refrigerator. So sometimes you may have uh this is not a good example. I don't really have a better one. Yeah, this is not a good example. But okay, well, I'll use this. This right here is your wire harness. So I cut this off because I was splicing it and had it hooked up to something else. But let's just say I needed this tip right here. Just this tip in order to try to fit these wires back in here because for some reason I pulled them out. But if I just needed this tip, how would I get it? I would have to buy a new wiring harness. Let's just say I didn't want to do that. What I would have to do is go on eBay and put in the model number of my refrigerator and then put in what I'm looking for, which is the wiring harness to a start relay, right? Now, it's going to be connected. The whole thing is going to be connected to the start relay. Or this actually goes to the fan right here. This goes to the fan. This goes to the compressor. This goes to the compressor. And this goes to, I think, the water pump. But I just want this. How would I get it? I would have to go to somebody who's selling these parts, these very hard parts, hard to find. And one company that does that is called Molac. But what this lady did was I needed a part like this. So I ordered it and it came in a bag of 40, a bag of 30, excuse me. But I only needed one part, only needed one. And I told her what I was doing. She said, listen, when you get that bag, you sell it to me for what you bought it for. I said, but there's going to be one missing. She said, it doesn't matter. When you come back over here, I'll buy it from what you bought it for. And that's exactly what she did. Because she's going to take each one of these little parts out. There might be 30 of them in there. And she's going to sell them each separately. She's a landlord and she sits at home and does this. So she might go to Molac and order 30 of these. Then she'll go to eBay and list 30 of these. Who's making money? This little old lady is making money. That's what I'm saying. Get in the game. She's sitting there. She's in the game. That's all she does. She's sitting there. She's like, I have over 200 items listed, 200 different subjects. Not knowing how many subjects of the, you know what I'm saying? How many pieces of the subject there are. Get This lady is in the game. She won't lift the refrigerator to save her life. But nonetheless, when you need that one little part, you can go to her eBay and she'll have it listed. And you can just buy one. and she'll sell it to you for $1.20. Then if you go $1.20, $1.30, $1.40, $2.99 for that little, you're gonna buy it. So let's just say she sold it for $2.99. You're thinking $2.99, that's not bad. $2.99 plus tax, then $2.99 plus your shipping because you have to pay for shipping. But nonetheless, she's gonna get $2.99. So she's gonna sell you 30. She's gonna sell you one of these for $2.99, but she bought 30 of them for $30. My G, she's gonna make $90 off of one bag. Get in the game, and it'll sell, and then she'll turn right back and go right back to Moloch and say, "Give me another bag of those. Give me 30 of those." And she can just keep doing it and keep going over and over, and it'll never stop because we as technicians, we need them. We need the parts. It's frustrating as hell when you can't find a part to just a connecting part. It's one of the most frustrating. And you're like, why can't I find this little part? Because they don't sell them without it being hooked onto the wire. And then you're like, I don't want to pay $60 for the whole harness. Well, guess what? You're gonna have to, or you're gonna find that lady, and that lady's gonna sell it to you for 2, 3.99, 5.99, whatever. And you're gonna be like, hell, $7.99. I'll pay for it in a heartbeat. I'll pay for it. I'll pay $7, $8, $10 for it. I'll pay $12 for it. No sweat. But I don't want to pay $60 for it. So she'll look at the of how many she's getting. She'll look at the demand for it. Then she'll say, "Send me 30 of those." She'll pay 30 plus shipping plus tax. Hike up the price for each one of them. Sell each one of them sold separately. Sit there and make 5, 10, $20 off of each one of them and kill the whole game. And she's sitting there doing this all day. That's what she does. And people are bing, they're constantly hitting on her eBay. And once she gets enough going out to wherever they're going, then she'll take them and ship them. She'll get the little baggies, boom, take them, ship it, take it, ship it. Do a delivery like once a week, boom, have all the things going out, have it already, assigned to wherever it's going, and however she's going to do. And well, another thing is, you can get a commercial account. See, I have a commercial account with uh, the guys I buy my appliance parts from. They know my name. And the way I did it, instead of having to hook up a commercial account, I'm a veteran. So I just said, hey, can you give me a veteran's discount? That's like having a commercial account to them. So everything I buy, I get a 10% discount. So if I'm going to be doing a lot of shipping, if I go to UPS, which I usually get my deliveries from them, but if you go to, UPS or whoever it is you go to, you can be like, hey, how can I get a commercial account? It's going to be cheaper that way. So I'm saying, you guys, get in the game. And I mean, this lady figured it out. Just one of these this little small thing right here. She figured it out. She's been making money from it. Wherever we're in a pinch, we can go to her page and just boom, boom. And Moloch has to have it. They have to have the stuff. They have to have it. These right here, these go to your start relays, right? No jokers here. These are about $10 to $12. Your start relay is about $60. That's right here. It's about $60. $10 to $12 goes right on top of here. Plugs right into here, and boom. That's how it goes. But the most important part here is this guy. What's in here? This actually comes out. This is just the housing. This is what you test. These three holes. You stick your meters in there, and if they don't go beep, then this is bad. Your refrigerator won't run. I'm just saying there's so many angles to, you know, just one thing, guys. So if you're sitting at home and you don't know what to do, and I've been there, I've been there, broke as hell, picking up pennies, trying to find out where I can buy a Snickers bar. I've been there. I promise to you, I've been there more than once. I've been at zero more than once, and I don't doubt that it could happen again. I mean, right now, one of my trucks is down. I mean, it'll run. It just I need to fix the brakes on it. I know that's going to cost me $300-400. I know it, but that ain't going to break me. That ain't going to break me because people know that I'm in the game. They know I'm hustling, and they call me up and say, "Hey, I got this hustle. I got that hustle." And after I get that situation together, I'm actually going to do like my guy over here and go to some of these warehouses and see if they need somebody to get some stuff down to Indiana or something. I live very central to I'm Midwest, so if they need something to go 4 or 5 hours one way, I'll do it. Hit me with about $600-700. I'll do it. I ain't got no problem with that. You know, make a trip once every 2 or 3 days. I'll do it. Put about what, the end of the week, about 2 grand in my pocket. You guys can do the same thing. I ain't special. You guys can do the same damn thing with whatever vehicle you got. You can do the same thing. You can make the same phone calls I'm making. You can go to Amazon. You can go to any of these trucking places. Sometimes I just walk in on these people and go, "Hey, who do I talk to about this?" And they'll be like, "So and so over there," and then I'll go and say, "Hey." I'll walk into an appliance store and I'll say, "Who does your deliveries?" They'll go, "We do," and I'll be like, "Listen, here's my number. If you ever need a delivery done, I can do one. If you're in a crunch and your guys are already out, give me a call. I'll make the delivery for you." They're like, "Okay." Now they haven't called me yet, but they have my number. They have my number. I'm not waiting for them to call me. I'm not calling, "Hey man, you guys got any?" No, you know what I do. I let you know what I do. If your guys are out and you're in a crunch, boom, call this guy right here. He's got 2 trucks and a trailer. I'm putting myself right in the way of that. Boom. Oh, and I'm like, "Hey, if you ever want to get rid of your refrigerators and sell me some of them, I'll buy them from you." They're like, "We usually just take them apart and blah blah blah." I'm like, "Yeah, I know, but I'll give you money for them. I'm offering you money for them." I might get that call. You can just walk into places and say, "Hey, this is what I do," and they may look at you like, "We don't really need that," but who knows? Who knows? One of these days it might go down and they might be like, "Damn, we can't get to Mrs. Monahan's with this double door because we got stuck out at, what, that one guy. Boom, give me a call. $120, I'll do it. Mrs. Monahan will have her refrigerator. She'll have it today. I will get that fridge in the house. I'll take it apart, but I'll get it in the house. Then when I get it in there, I'll put it back together. 120, I'll do it. How many stairs? 5 stairs? I got you. I'll do it. Take both those doors off of that side by side, strip it down, so you can knock the weight off of it, tie it up to the dolly. Up each step, take your time. Boom, 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 boom. Bring it right on in the door. Put it back together, plug it in. Peace out. Get your 120. Maybe even more. And if you have to remove her old fridge, you got to pay me for that. It's another $40. Oh, you guys want me to bring it where? Bring it to you? You're going to have to pay me for that. Or if they say, hey, you can keep the old fridge, be like, all right. Get to Mrs. Monahan's and say, what's wrong with the fridge? Oh, nothing. We just don't want it anymore. What does that tell me? This is a working fridge, and I'm going to sell it, and I'm going to make even more money. And if it's a side by side and it's half decent looking, I'm going to sell it for at least $250 and up. So now instead of 120 or 140 or 150, now I just made what, 450, almost $500. And it's just that easy. And the thing about it, if I list it the next day, it might be gone a day after that. I got a refrigerator from my suppliers that was a 4-door. I sold it the next day for $1,000. I made $1,000 in one day in about 5 minutes. And I gave them a discount. Get into the game, baby. Ask me anything, I'll tell you how to do it. You ain't got to be out there struggling. Get in the game. I'll show you how to put some money in your pocket. Real quick, tell me what you got going on. Get in the game. You know what I'm saying? You see me, man, I ain't got all them fancy haircuts and fancy clothes. My hair is all unkempt. You think I give a damn? I don't give a damn. Get in the game, man. My wallet ain't empty. I look like this. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got on the new whatever, but my wallet is not empty. My clothes is dirty. I gotta go wash some joints, but my wallet ain't empty. My back hurt, but my wallet ain't empty. Get in the game, baby. I'll show you. I'll show you how to get it. I'll show you how to stand on the corner and flip. Yeah, standing on the corner flipping, waiting for them people to come to your house, some country folks. You be like, here I am. Yeah, this the refrigerator y'all wanted. There it is. It's working. Freezing on this side, cool on this side. Nice, ain't it? Yeah, $400. 2-week warranty. There you go. Yeah, we'll take it. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, yeah. Go and get some Bob Evans after that. Mm-hmm. Some sweet tea. Some sweet tea. Yeah. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's how you do it. Help them load it up. Tell them peace out. Yeah, I ain't heard from them since. And that's a good thing. Fireworks? Yeah, so I'm saying, get in the game, baby. Okay. Yeah. Now companies is asking me to come over. Hey, could you? Maintenance man, could you? I don't want to be your maintenance. I don't want to be your maintenance. I don't want to be your maintenance man. I come work for you, but I don't want to be the maintenance man. I want to do something else. Show you how to put $20 in your pocket. I'll show you how to put 20 in your pocket, baby. Yeah, you might have some holes in your socks, but that ain't because you poor. You gonna have some holes in your socks because you work all the damn time. People will call you in the people will call you in the middle of the night. People hit me up on Facebook early in the morning. They be up. And they get that bing bing. Be 6 o'clock in the morning. You better answer it. Facebook never turns off. Never. You better answer it. If somebody bings you, you better turn your ass over, get on your phone, and answer them and say, yes, it's available. When do you need it? Always ask, when do you need it? Don't just say, yes, it's available. Because they know yes is available is generic. But if you say, when do you need it, that's you actually asking them a question. They don't say, I need it now. Sometimes they don't. But if they're saying, I need it now, then you say, are you picking it up or do you want it delivered? Then they say, whichever one they're going to do is say, I want it delivered, which is most of the time what they say. What does that mean? Cha-ching. You got to pay me delivery costs. Where do you live? I live in so and so. Well, I got to come from so and so. That's going to be about 45-minute drive. This is what you got to pay me to do that. And they're going to say, fine. They're going to pay it. Very few people don't want to do that. They'll be like, man, that costs a lot of money. Them people, you don't pay them no mind. The majority of people will go, okay, I'll do it. 60 and $70, 50, 60, 70 for delivery into your house. That's too much money. You have Sears or one of them do it. Guess how much your delivery is? It's $150 and up. And I'm charging you 15. You don't want to do it? All right, go have them do it. I'll put some money in your pocket. I'll get you $1 or two. Get in the game. We ain't gotta be cute. Ain't none of us cute. We ain't cute over here. But we ain't broke. We ain't hungry. We can go eat a fancy dinner if we want to, but we don't. I can though. I can go eat a fancy dinner if I want to. I could eat a fancy, what are they, Ruth Chris or whatever the hell they go to get a $250. I can do that if I wanted to. But I don't. Ain't no way. $250, man. Hell nah. I go right down to Giant Eagles and get about shoot. That's 2 months worth of groceries. Hell no, I don't give a damn about your steak. I cook it myself. Yeah. Get yourself about $300 in one day, 1 hour. $300, boom. Shoot, my guy, he does even this dude. I've seen this dude do about in one day. I seen him do like 2, 3 grand, and I know he was doing it because I was counting his money because I was his delivery guy. That dude back then, which is during the summer, back then was probably banging out about 40, 40 G's in a week. Probably like 30, 40. Banging out of 2 storage units. He got four now. He got 4 storage units now. He got four of them now. Banging out. Banging out. Banging. That's because he's got a bunch of suppliers. And he's the middleman. It's just he's got a beautiful setup. Beautiful. And he's young too. He's like 23. Him and his girl. He's young too. His he so even when he gets broken fridges, he sells them to guys like me and other people. But he is actually the middleman for a bunch of other people too. So they get fridges from him and then they flip them in. This guy gets new stuff. His supplier gets him brand new stuff. I've seen it come out of the box. Brand new refrigerators wrapped up. I'm like, bro, this is a brand new. Yeah. Washers, dryers. Yeah. Yeah. He doing that. He doing that. I'm not doing that. He doing that. But you got to have a supplier to do that. You got to have a supplier who's coming with the trucks and dropping it off. And just dropping stuff off. I used to have that. But my suppliers, they played me one day. Suppliers are not easy to come by. But once you get them, dropping the stuff off to you, by the truckloads, tested and working. Oh, shoot. I'm trying to tell you. Trying to tell you. You get enough suppliers, man, you can do 10 grand. You can easily, especially if the people come and picking it up, you can do 10 grand in a day. 10 grand in a day is a washer and dryer set, one stackable, that's over a grand right there. Washer and dryer set, 450, a stackable, 550, boom. That's a grand right there. That's a grand. So let's throw in a stove, gas stove, 5 burner with the warmer, gas stove, 400. Throw in a coil top, GE coil top, another 400. Then throw in a glass top, another 250. Boom. There's your other grand. That's another grand right there. We ain't got to the refrigerators yet. He sold one for like 1,500. We ain't even hit the refrigerators yet. We just talking about, that's over 2 grand right there. 4 different items, that's 2 grand. Bang. We ain't even got to the refrigerators yet. That's 2 grand out the door. Boom. Once you get to the refrigerators, you can just have one refrigerator you can get a grand from. You sold one of them new refrigerators, boom, 16, 1700. Somebody's gonna buy it. You get yourself one of them Samsungs with the picture on the side, 550, 560. Get yourself a four-door LG, 650, 7, 7, 700, 800, easy. It'll happen. Somebody buy it if it's new, if it's newer, about 2 years old, easy. You're looking at 5 grand already gone, just like that. And that's only what, 6, 7 customers? Nothing. You still got the rest of the day. I'm trying to tell you, you can do 10 grand in a day in this business. You can do it. You can do it easily. You can do it. So whoever is still listening to me, I'm not talking just to be talking. I'm telling you guys, I've seen people do it. I know people who got whole setups, and this is all that they do. So if you guys want to get some money and you guys are struggling, learn how to flip refrigerators, stoves, learn how to install dishwashers. Learn how to install and just listen. Just do one thing and say, "This is what I know how to do." Your phone is not going to stop ringing. I've seen old boy doing almost 10 grand, couple days, 10 grand easy. Went out and bought himself a nice truck too. Bang it out. I'm not doing nowhere near that. My numbers aren't even close to that. I'm not even trying to do that. But if I got another supplier who's dropping off, if I had two more suppliers, I'm telling you, I would have another truck sitting outside, paid for cash. I'd probably have a really nice GMC Yukon sitting out there. 30 grand, bang. It would be nothing. I would be able to make that in not even a week. It wouldn't even take me a week to make 30 grand. Wouldn't even take a week. Let the economy go back to what it was doing in 2020. Let that happen. It, and if I get my certification, it won't even matter what the economy is doing. If I certify myself in the fixing refrigerators, just the refrigerator, this is not stoves, because I can fix that too. But if I just concentrate on refrigerators and I get certified in it, now I can charge you $600-700, and I don't even have to fix it. I can just tell you what's wrong with it. All I got to do is 3 house calls a day, 3, 4. That's easy to do. You do one at 10. You're done with it. What, 11:30? You do another one at what, 12:30? Another one at 2:30, and another one at what, 3:30? That's not even a hard day. You'll be back home by 4:30. You do 4 house calls. That's it. And you're not even the one fixing them. You can just I can just tell you what's wrong with it. It's gotten to the point now where people can just tell me what's wrong over the phone. And unless I have to go in there and figure out what a frequency compressor is doing, which is a pain in the ass, or what a broken motherboard is doing, or and then here's the thing, I don't have to tell you this is a beautiful part about the appliance business. If you're just gonna be somebody who diagnoses. Fixing is different. But if you're just gonna diagnose, because a lot of time people want to know, should I put money into this? That's where you come in as somebody who diagnoses. So if you put on Facebook or on a your little website and say, "Hey, I don't fix, but I can tell you what the diagnosis is. Give me a call," and they call you and they say, "I have a I have an LG 4 door, and the refrigerator comes on, the lights come on, but the motor doesn't come on. So I can see the lights, but the fans don't come on and the motor doesn't come on. First thing I'm going to ask you is, what does the display say?" And that's going to tell me a lot there. And if this display says error, or if it beeps, or if it looks like it says 88, then I already know what the problem is. Boom, I know what your problem is. If it says 88, I can already tell you you're not getting enough power to your compressor, and you need a new PVC board. What I'm going to instruct you to do is pull the refrigerator out and take off the back panel. When you take off that back panel, you're going to see, let me see, if this is an LG, if it's an LG, yeah, you still have a back panel. Because I'm thinking, wait a minute. Because if it's a Whirlpool, you have to take off the dust cover on the back where the compressor is. That's where you're going to see the motherboard. But if it's an LG, it's right on the back. If it's a Samsung, it's right on the back. If it's a Frigidaire, you have to open up and you're going to see numbers in front of you. That's where your motherboard is. So, I have to know where your motherboard is so I can tell you where it's at. So, boom, it's an LG. It's going to be on the back. There's going to be a panel. There's going to be 3 screws. You got to unscrew them. That panel's going to come right off, and you're going to tell me what you see. Now, that's not going to have a PVC board. A PVC board is going to be the motherboard, and then there's going to be another board. This other board controls the compressor. So if it's a Samsung, you're going to have a motherboard and a PVC board. There's going to be a light on this board. It's going to be about that big. It's going to be smaller. That light's going to be blinking red. And it's going to tell you it's going to blink 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And your front of your refrigerator is going to say 88, and at one time it's going to say OR or OD. You're not getting enough power to start the refrigerator. You have to replace the PVC board. And if you unplug the refrigerator, wait about 2 minutes, and take the PVC board out, you can look real closely and you're going to see there's a fuse there. And if that fuse is cloudy or if it's busted, that's what happened. You have to replace that. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be like, you can do this yourself. You can replace it. All it is just plug in. That's it. You can do it yourself, but you have to buy a new PVC board. Now I have to come and do it. I'm gonna charge you $200-300 to do that. But all you have to do is pay me the $100 because I just told you what's wrong with your refrigerator. Once you go and get your new PVC board, I don't know how much it's going to cost you. Depends on where you get it from. You're going to put it back in, screw it back in, plug everything back in the right way. You're going to go ahead and fire it up. Boom, your compressor is going to come right on. Boom, your refrigerator is going to be just fine. You put the panel back on it. But if this is an LG, like I said, it doesn't have a PVC board. So if this is an LG, what's going to happen is it's probably going to have if it's not doing anything, it's going to have a green light. That green light's going to be constantly on. You don't want that. And I think they actually have a, let me see right here. I didn't learn this stuff overnight, but yet I can disseminate this information and make money. Sitting right here. This is an LG, right? Let me show you this other one. This is a Samsung. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. Nope. Hold on a second. I'm sorry. This is a Samsung. See the difference? LG, Samsung. Now, if I had a Whirlpool would be half this size. Small. It fits where your compressor is. It's about that big. Small. But this, depending on the year, comes with a PVC board. It's another board that sits up right about here. That board runs your compressor. So this could be your problem if it's not putting enough power into the PVC board. Then you'll see it blink, and then there's a diagram that tells you it's on your refrigerator. And it'll tell you if it's blinking so many times, this is what's wrong with it. So then you would have to have a tech come in and look at this. And what they're going to do is they're going to start where the power goes. Your power comes in through, okay, so, sorry, I have it. They sit sideways when you're, but they either sit like this or it sits like this. I think it sits like this. So my power is going to come through here somewhere. It's going to come through this side. And how do I know? Because you always follow the coil where the coils are. So my power is going to come through here, right? But it all depends on what's wrong with it, because sometimes your your heater doesn't work. That's one of these. One of these is saying one of these may be out. So you would have to test one of these to find out which one that is. Your ice maker doesn't work. One of these could be blown out. You have to find out which one that is. But so I would have to test the power from this to the PVC board. You see what I mean? So, I mean, it can get pretty technical because sometimes you have to go through and test all of these. That is just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But people are making money doing just this. Just this. They're sitting at home and they're going through all of this and these and what these are and how much power goes through these and all this other stuff. You see videos of it. And they're sitting there testing all of these, and it's a whole, oh my goodness, it's a whole maze. And then they come from behind. Listen, if this is gone, this chip right here, throw the whole thing away. But if one of these go out, these are all replaceable. All of these, it's $10 for one of these white ones. All you got to do is go to the back. You know where it's at. It's right here. You heat it up. Boom. You snatch it right out. Take the new one. Put it right in. Boom. Solder it in there good. Boom. Bam. Beans and ham. It's over. How do you know one of these is how you know one of these is out? If this is bulgy, it's gone. If you want to test this one, you go to the back here and you test it. If it has burn marks in the back of it, you know it's toast. That's why you pull the motherboard out and you look at it. You go, Okay, I'm not sure what the problem is. And then you do one of these numbers. And if you smell burnt, then you got to look closer. You got to put your glasses on and look closer and try to figure out where it's burnt at because it's going to be burnt somewhere. And then once you find out where it's burnt at, you just go ahead and take that part out, replace it, fire it back up, and you should be good. Sometimes it's just these little guys right here. You can always tell because it's either going to be burnt or they're going to be swollen up. And then sometimes it depends on what the item is. Each item to your refrigerator, the ice maker, the lights, the this, the that, they're all coming through here. So then you have to test, and that's where it can get tedious too. So you have different pins that are here. So you might have to know, you're going to have to know how many ohms are supposed to be coming through these pins. That's where the tech is just like, listen, I'm just a tech. I'm not the fix it person. And then they come out and they test here, test here, test there. And it could take a while. And that's why you have to pay them so much money because they have all of this information in their head. And all of your refrigerators have a diagnostic in it somewhere. You can run a diagnostic on it, or you have a diagnostic sheet. And sometimes it's plastered right on the back of your refrigerator. It's a diagram that sits right above your compressor. There'll be a diagram there. And you can just, look at it and it'll tell you how the electricity is flowing through your motherboard. A lot of the information about fridges is already on the fridge. You just don't know what you're looking at. But once you start becoming a tech, you'll know what you're looking at. You're like, okay, this diagram's here, and when you pull this out, you can follow the diagram, and boom. You're like, okay, this is where this is going, and now then you got to know your amps and all that other stuff. So this it gets pretty involved if you're gonna fix it. But usually when one of these goes out, I just tell them they need a new one. And you can do that from your house. You can do that. You can have the customer, if the customer is willing, you can say, listen, I'm going to save you a boatload of money, but you're going to have to pay me something for my knowledge. They'll do it. They'll do it. I've had women and men do it. And you just say, listen, all right, I'm going to help you figure out what's wrong. Okay, everybody's gone. But thank you guys for listening to me. I love talking about how to make money. Oh, somebody's still here. But I suggest you guys who are struggling get into something that everybody needs. Everybody needs electronics. So you guys can get into electronics. I'm sorry that Radio Shack is not around anymore. Have a great night. You too. I'm really sorry that Radio Shack isn't around anymore. Were you the one listening to me all this time? Primitive Skills? I know I was talking a lot. But, okay, well, I hope you got a lot of information from that. The good thing about it is you can go back and listen to it as many times as you want. You know what I mean? But you wanted to get more into detail of some of the stuff I was talking about. I think you're the only person here. I don't mind. I'll do that. You want to take apart some of the topics, and I don't know if I think you're a guy, right? Aren't you, Primitive? You're a guy? I think you're a guy. I thought so. But if you're a young man looking to get into something, I think that's why you're here. You're I don't know. You might be one of those people who, God might be saying, "Hey, bro, you working for the wrong person. You might be doing a little too much, and they don't appreciate you." I remember being at jobs, and they just didn't appreciate me. They didn't care if I was there or not. They thought I was a joke. Yeah, they thought it was a joke. You're fired. We don't need you. Well, now I don't need them. Like I said, I don't make a lot of money, but I'm not broke. I also don't have expensive habits. So if you got some habits, you got stuff that you into that's costing you money that you don't need to blow your money on, you know, you got to fix that. You got to get out of that. You I don't know, whatever it is. We all got some kind of something going on, but yeah, if you got that going on, bro, get out of that. Get out of it. Just I don't care if it's a woman. I don't care what it is. Now some things you can't help. If you're married, that's expensive. We all know that. You got kids, kids are expensive. It is what it is. But if you got a car or something that you're pouring money into, cut it out. Cut it out. I cut out any expensive thing that I had going on. I cut it out. And at one time, I wouldn't. I even turned off my. I went and canceled my gym membership. I cut off Netflix. I cut off Amazon. I cut off HBO and Warhammer. I cut them off too. I cut them all off. Next thing you know, I had almost $100 a month coming in. You know what I'm saying? I was like, until I know what's going on, I don't need to watch these things. And then boom, once I figure out what was going on, I cut on some of them. I went and got my Netflix back, but I didn't cut on all of them. I went and got my gym membership again. So I'm just telling you, some stuff you just don't need. You know what I'm saying? So you can cut a bunch of stuff off. Next thing you know, you gotta boom, you're sitting there with another $150 a month. Like, okay, let's do it. So you might have to cut yourself off on some things. But and it's self discipline. We got to do it. Sometimes we got to do it. Sometimes you can't shine, bro. You gotta dig deep, man. If you got some homies that they're expensive too, get rid of them. Tell your homie, nah, I'm not. I can't come out and blow $50 with y'all each. Nah, I'm not doing it. They don't understand, and they're not your friends. Peace, man. I'm not doing it. I'm not tossing money in the club and giving some goofy one. No, no, that's not impressive. What's impressive to me is the person who doesn't have to depend on nobody. That's impressive to me. That's impressive. You flashing your whatever, that's not impressive to me. And listen, there's nothing wrong with a 9 to 5 because I done seen plenty of people shine at a 9 to 5. They got their money and then they got their hustle. Man, I done seen dudes who were the guys who were scrubbing floors, just the maintenance man in the middle of the night, the one of those guys hopping out of a Lexus. We had another guy who worked for the state This guy was like the mailroom dude, just a straight gangster, just a straight up gangster, and he'd be smiling at you every day when he come delivering your mail. Hey, how's everybody doing? Dude was a whole landlord, whole landlord. He just and the thing about it was the people who worked with him, they knew it. They knew that dude had money, but he was in one of the lower paying positions. And he was happy every day because as soon as he went home, he had his other income and he was going home and he was still working his ass off. He was still working he was making more money than them. That's what he wanted to do. He's like, I'm gonna go and do this, I'm gonna do this. One guy I was listening to on the internet, he was like, yeah, I used to work for, so and so, and he did his thing. And then he's like, I didn't want to work for them anymore, so I looked for something to do. He went out and got a bunch of vending machines. Now he's got over 300 vending machines, and he lives in a nice area, beautiful house, wife, kids. Young, ain't even 30. That's what he does. He vending machine hustles. Boom, he's out there. Boom. That's what I'm saying. Hell, I wish I would have saw that video earlier. I would have done it. I could still do it. With the money I made this week, I can go and buy a vending machine right now. A lot of times I have slow weeks. This week was good. But one of the reasons why it was good is because those people called me and said, hey, we got some work for you. Another reason is because I had listed, some fridges at some really good prices. And they bit. You know what I'm saying? They bit. You know what I'm saying? So, I wasn't getting any shine one week, but I was like, oh, let me, go online. So I just went online. I said, let me see what I could find. So I went hunting because I had some cash. So I went hunting. I was like, okay, I have this much. Let me go see if I could, what I can drum up. And I was just on there looking at different refrigerators and talking to people. And then I saw the ones that I wanted. I said, I'm going to take those two right there. So one I got, and nothing was wrong with it. The guy just didn't want it anymore. $50. Another one I got from uh, one guy who sells broken refrigerators. He's like, yeah, you can have it for $50. I don't know what's wrong with it. I took it home, tested it, found out that it was the fan. I paid $100 for the fan. Then I put Freon in it. Boom, sold it. Sold it. Boom, just like that. Went out and got another one. Boom, sold it. So that's how my hand got hot this week because I looked for particular fridges and it just worked like a charm. You know what I'm saying? And what I really aimed for is apartment fridges. But I aimed for the nice ones, but they were getting rid of for the low price. Now you could also buy the ones that like one had bugs in it because it was in a storage unit and there was like when I last had it turned on it worked, but all these bugs got in it. That happens all the time. Now I could have bought that one. That one was a bottom freezer. It was nice. He sold it. He sold it. Somebody took it, cleaned it up, and they're rocking in it right now. And I thought about it. I was like, "Ooh, I should buy it." I just didn't feel like it. But that's another apartment size, refrigerator. That one I know I could have sold that 350. I could have sold that. I know it. I regret getting it, but I just didn't feel like messing with the bugs this time. You know what I'm saying? And there's a couple other good ones I passed up. I just didn't feel like going and getting them. But I'm just saying, I could have even done better this week. Like I could have done almost twice as much as what I did. You know what I'm saying? I could have set myself up real good and, probably I could have probably done about 2 grand just this week alone, or more. Now that I'm thinking about it, it would have been more just this week, just with buying those particular refrigerators. That's what I'm saying. My 9 to 5 funds 80% of my business. Yeah, yeah. Stick with that 9 to 5, but get that outside money. Yeah, get that extra money. So if you want to go somewhere, and you see something you want, you're able to get it and not be hurt. Or if you get fired, you're not going to be out on your ass. You could pay your rent. You could pay your rent. It's when people get fired and they can't pay their bills is when they're in trouble. But if you get fired, you're just like, all right, well, I have to go put this application in here, but I'm not broke. You got that emergency money. You got that $5,000. Just most people don't have emergency money. They don't have a grand in their pocket. They don't have a grand in their pocket. The majority of Americans do not have $1,000. And you're probably thinking, how? People are poor. People are really, really, really poor. Then you got the working poor, and then you know, and I've been there. I've been both of them. I've been out on my ass, homeless poor. Been there. One thing I have never been is rich. Never really wanted to be rich. I just thought one day I'd be rich. And sometimes, and it's kind of glad I didn't get rich, because you know when I did get a decent amount of money, I blew it. I blew it in the stock market, not understanding it. Now, if I get the same money I had back, a few years ago, if that pops off now, I'll be all right. I'll be all right, because I've seen what the stock market can do, and I'm like, you know what? I know not to jump into certain pools. You know what I'm saying? But I know there's certain places I can jump in. I know certain companies I can dip into, and not take my money out because all of a sudden they dropped 20%. I know that they're going to come back up because I watched it for the whole year, and I'm like, oh, you had a serious drop, and then I pulled out, lost a bunch of money, lost a bunch of money, and now I'm like, damn, you're almost back at that same level. Same thing with Bitcoin. Went down to 17. Now they're back up to 42, 43. I got out. I should have stayed in at 17. Now they're back up to 43. How much money would I would have had? How much money would I would have had if I would have had a G? Just 1 grand on it. And I know it's going to go back up to what, into the 60s? I mean, I can look at it right now. It's 40 something. So I would love to take a grand and put it on Bitcoin and just leave it there, and just see what Bitcoin does. But look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is 42. So if I look at their trajectory for the month, it's been holding steady. It vacillates in between 40, 41, 42, 43, dip down to 40, 41, 40. Yep. So it's vacillating in between 40, 41 and 43. Listen, anytime a stock does that, and that was for the week. See, look at this. Look at that trajectory. I don't know how good you guys can see that. You see it's going up? That's for the year. I wish I might end up throwing a grand at it. Just not now because I got to get my truck fixed and all this other stuff. Yeah, it's gonna go right back up. Bitcoin's gonna go right back up to 60s, into the 60s, the high 60s. It's gonna do it. It's just taking its time about it. It's taking its good old time about it. But yeah, man. Sometimes you gotta lose money to understand it. But yeah, if your job is funding your dream, let it do that, man. There's nothing wrong with going to work. There's nothing wrong with it. All these gurus saying you need to do this, you need to do that. I tell people in a heartbeat, go to work. If somebody is offering you work, go and work. Because not everybody is got this grand scheme to be running around in a Murcielago, man. I care less about that. Give me a nice GMC or a nice Tahoe, and I'm happy. I'm happy. I mean, that new Cadillac SV, that looked good. A new Cadillac looked good. I don't know. I mean, but $150, $150,000 for a new Cadillac? I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I'll take a 2015 Chevy Tahoe uh, LTZ, black with the snowflake rims. I'll take that. I'm good on that. I'm good on that. That's what I'm saying, man. Uh, get your hustle on. What's your hustle now? What you got going? Like what you got going on now? What you cutting hair? You cutting hair? What you got? Cutting hair, doing braids. What you got? Shoot, I might start selling doggy pillows. I don't really want to mess with the dog universe. I don't want to mess with them. Those people are crazy. Those people are crazy. What you got? What's your hustle is? Yeah, tell me what your hustles is. Shoot, I need to list these. I need to list these motherboards. Oh, I wanted to see something. I wanted to see on this LG. Does it have a? Also wanted to mention this. You are a salute, brother, salute. So I also wanted to say on these motherboards that depends on what company it is that made it. They all have reset buttons. So okay, so to reset a refrigerator, uh, what it does is it resets everything. It resets a compressor, but what you're really doing is resetting the computer, right? And sometimes that can fix your problem, but you might not know what that reset button is. This is an LG. LGs come with reset buttons, and here it is, right here. See it? I'm in pain a little bit. I had some deliveries, but there it is right there. Now, if a tech comes over and they want to figure out, are your fans running in your side by side, this is what they're going to do. They're going to open up the back panel And if they don't hear the fans running, they're going to test your fans. This is how they do it. They're going to come and they're going to run through a diagnostics and they're going to press it once. Boom. That compressor is going to come on. All your fans are going to come on. You're going to hear them. The ones in on your on a the ones in the on the freezer side, they're going to come on. So if you have a side by side, it's the refrigerator freezer. So the ones in the freezer side are going to come on, and he's going to listen to them. He's going to say that fan is coming on. Okay, but if it's a bottom freezer, with a three-door bottom freezer, because there's two type of bottom freezers, he's going to have to listen to hear if the fan in the back is coming on, and the two fans in the bottom are coming. Okay, so if it's a three-door fridge, you have four fans. You have the condenser fan. You have the that's on it. The condenser fan is right next to the compressor. So you have to take off the rear back panel to see that come on. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the evaporator fan because it's evaporating the water. So that needs to be able to come on. So if that's not coming on, that's part of your problem. You could have a bad fan. So you just replace the fan. It's $70 to for the part, $150 for the labor. Boom, that's fixed. But if that fan is not coming on, or that if that fan's coming on, your compressor's coming on, you can feel it humming. If it should be warm, it should be about 98. So you're like, okay, this is warm. That means your start relay is working. That means your harness is working. So that's all good, right? So you go to the bottom on the inside where the freezer is. There are two fans down there, and they're sitting behind a panel. If you can't hear them going on, you're gonna have to take that panel off and get to the fans. And it could be that the harness, the wire harness that plugs into the refrigerator, it could be something's wrong with that harness, or it could be something's wrong with the motherboard. The tech has to figure all that out. So he's going to take the fan out. He's going to ohm out the fan. He's going to see what the ohms are for the fans. He's going to check a wire harness and see how much electricity is coming through there. And if the electricity is not coming through there, you could have a bad wire harness. Or and then he's going to come to the back and he's going to have to find out which one of these controls the fan. That's where your money is going right there. He's like, your fan's not working. I need to know why. I got to find out which one of these controls the fan. So what he's going to do is he's not going to test your power, because here's where your power comes in. He already knows you're getting power. If other things are working, then this is getting power. So he's going to follow the power. Boom. He's going to have to figure out which one of these controls your fan. And then he's going to have to test it um, by testing through here. So he's going to have to test through here, and he's going to have to put, his red and black, and try to figure out which one it is. And there's these needles in here are how you test it, but he has to figure out which one it is. So how's he going to do that? Well, what he's going to do is he's going to look at the schematics of the refrigerator. Usually it's going to be on a paper, or it might be on the back of the refrigerator. So he might have to pull out the paper. Now, sometimes that piece of paper sits on top of the refrigerator where you open the door at, and there's that plastic part on top. You have to unscrew it and reach up under there, and there's a piece of paper sitting there. That piece of paper is the schematics for the whole refrigerator. He's going to have to take it and read through it and find out where the electronics, how the it's going to show how the electronic flows, and he's going to have to find out where the exact part he wants to test and what the reading should be. It's important. So he's got to find out what the reading should be. What board is that for? I'm guessing. Yes, it's for the refrigerator. Yes, it's for the refrigerator. It's for an LG. So, like I said, he's going to start here with the test, right? He's going to push this button, boom. He's going to listen and see if all the fans come on, the compressor comes on. It's going to run through its own diagnostics. And if all of those things are coming on, he's going to be like, okay, that's cool. He's going to push it again. When he pushes it again, it's going to beep twice. It's going to go beep, beep. It's going to run to the heater. It's going to shut off all your fans. It's going to shut off your compressor. But you're going to hear, you're not going to hear it, not unless there's ice in your freezer. Then you would hear that. If you start hearing crackling noises, that means the heating element came on. This is a heating element. So this thing is one wire coiled up all the way through here. So he's going to be listening to this. And if he hears crackling noises, that means this thing is full of ice. There's ice all around it, and it starts to melt it, right? So he knows this is working, right? But if he doesn't, on test number 2, if he doesn't hear it, he knows something's wrong with this. So he's going to go back to the motherboard and figure out through the schematic sheet which one of these pins control the heating element. He's going to get an ohm reading and all that other stuff, and it's going to tell him whether this is bad. But let's just say he can't find a schematic sheet. What's he have to do? He's going to have to go and pull the bottom drawer out, take all that apart, pull the back panel out, and then he's going to see the heating element. Now, this is for a side-by-side. The heating element for a 3-door is actually wider. It's like this. Then he's going to have to take this right here and this right here, and he's going to have to test it with its meter. And once it touches, it should go beep. But if it doesn't go beep, he doesn't hear anything, that means some kind of power came through here and busted it. So somewhere on here, it's severed. And this is what you're going to need. It costs about $70. That's what techs do. It's tedious as hell, but that's what they have to do to find out what's wrong. And sometimes it's the harness, sometimes it's the, I mean, that's why you got to pay them so much, because they're trying to find out what exactly is wrong. Sometimes it's the motherboard not giving enough power, and but once they figure it out, boom. And sometimes they don't figure it out. Sometimes it's something that's really heavy. Like you could have a problem with your okay, so a refrigerator has 2 lines going through it from the compressor, right? There's a suction line. The suction line is the low line. Then it has the other line is the high line. So, or low side, high side is what they call it. The low side is cool because it's the suction line. So whenever you're putting Freon into a fridge, a lot of people use the suction line. You have to, actually. But if you touch the fridge, soon as a tech pulls off that dust cover and they see that the compressor is running, I mean it's humming, but they're like, something's wrong. Something's wrong because the fridge is not getting cool, but this is humming. And it's getting hot. So they're going to test the heat on the compressor and be like, man, this thing is 170, 180, and it's still going up, but it's humming. That means that the liquid is not coming through it, but it's working. It's just the liquid's not coming through it. So you have a clog somewhere. So they're going to have to hook up a vacuum, and they're going to have to vacuum all the Freon out of it and everything else that's in it to see if they can clear that line. I don't do that, not yet, but I will. But that's going to cost you. You're going to have to suck all the whatever's in there out of there in order to clear your line, and they're going to have to test your low and high side for leaks. You can look and see if there's a leak, but you might have a leak detector. So you got to skim along the lines and see if it's going to beep. You have to go on the inside of the refrigerator, do the same thing, use a leak detector to see if you got a leak somewhere. You might, if if it's not heating up, you might have lost your freon. So you got to find out where the hole is and solder the hole up or tape it up or however you're going to do it. Yeah, but as soon as you pull that dust cover off there and that compressor is running, you better. And the way they test your low and high side, or low side and high side, is by hand. The low side should be cool to the touch. Freon should be going into it. That's a suction line, so freon's going into it. The high side is going to be warm to the touch. So you know your liquid is flowing if it's cool and then it's warm. So you're like, this liquid's flowing the right way. You know what I'm saying? So you're like, okay, this is not terrible. Your refrigerator melted one of your cords. What cord? Your plug-in. So it so you had it plugged into the wall and the cord melted. Explain that to me. I don't know what that means. The USB. USB. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I'm confused. Dangling. But what? A USB was dangling. USB is a type of cord. Well, the USB cord, but I'm trying to figure out like how your refrigerator. Oh, okay. So it must have been dangling down by the compressor, and then okay, so that's what happened. All right, so you had a USB dangling somewhere near a compressor. Yeah. So a compressor can get up to 300 degrees. So yes, it can melt a USB cord, and it can burn you. It can burn you. Usually, if a compressor does that, it's because the liquid is not flowing through it. So yeah, they can get hot. Like I have one that I've tested, and it just kept getting hot, and I'm like, this is not right. Um, so I unplugged it because I'm not sure what it was. I'm thinking now that it has a clog in it. It's one of my LGs. So what I'm gonna do is get another motherboard for it because what it's doing now is it comes on, but it doesn't stay on. So I want it to come on and see if it's going to run the liquid through it. And I think the motherboard is not allowing it to do it. It only happened one time, but hasn't done it yet. Hasn't done it again. Still, that worries me. It should. Yeah, it hasn't done it since. Yeah, it shouldn't have done it at all. It shouldn't have done that at all. You have to be careful of that. You know, like I said, there's usually a clog of some type. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Usually something clogged up in there, and sometimes sometimes it's the liquid itself that's clogged in there because the liquid turns to more of a solid when it's not being used. What was 120? The fridge was 120. You bought a refrigerator off of Amazon? Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Oh, it's your mini fridge too? Yeah. Yeah. Hell, I have a mini fridge. Well, you gotta be careful, man, because I'm telling you right now, there's no way that fridge should have got that hot. There's no way. No way that fridge should have got that hot. Something's definitely wrong. And I'm gonna tell you, I know where it's wrong at. I know what's going on. It's your condenser. Yeah. Yeah. Your condenser. So you have your the motor, right? The compressor. You have the low side, high side, the warm side. What's happening is they're both going to your the low side is going into your condenser, and the condenser is your coils that you usually see go up the back of the old ones, but now they look like just a bunch of wires at the bottom, the plastic. Yeah, your condenser, something's going on with your condenser. It's getting clogged up. Yeah, your condenser's getting clogged up. Also, you could need some Freon. Your motor will run hot if you do not have Freon. And there's only one way to test your Freon. You have to tap into the low side, the suction side. You have to use a piercing valve, and you have to take some. Let's see. That might be 134A is the yeah. You might use 134A, or you might use R20. So let me grab some 134A so you know what you're looking at. Hold on a second. All right. It's still connected to one of my refrigerators. So 134A is okay. Yeah, I'm not sure which one you use for that, but it'll tell you on the refrigerator which one you use. I think you are, let's see, the freezers. Okay, so the white freezers, the freezer chests people throw all their meats into. Those are R20. That's the gas that's cooling the freezer. Now, that comes in a can like this. It's a white can. You can buy it online. It'll say R20 on it. So, or R22 or something like that. But you might take 134A. I'm pretty sure of it. I'm pretty sure of it. But like I said, it'll say it on the back of there somewhere what kind of gas it takes, and then it'll tell you how many ounces it takes. So it might take like 2 ounces of it or something like that. So basically, you're gonna have to. This is what I would do if you called me over to do a job on it. This is what I would do. Where did you learn refrigerators from? Online. I learned it online. And the reason why I learned it is because I lost my two suppliers. So my money dipped real quick. And another thing is, see what the suppliers did is I would buy refrigerators from them, but I wanted to know, but I was paying them for ones that worked. Well, they decided they wanted to scam me and sell me ones that didn't work. And that was the end of our relationship. So I said, okay. I ended up selling, one of them that didn't work. I didn't know what was wrong with it. But then I started getting into the weeds. I said, well, I need to know what this thing is doing and why it's doing it. So each refrigerator that I got, I would listen to it, and I would look at it and then I would say, okay, this is not doing this or not doing that. I would type that in into YouTube, and I would also put in what kind of refrigerator it was and what brand. So if it was a top freezer, Whirlpool, I'd put that in there. Or I would just put the model number in there and say not working or fan is not working or whatever. And that's how I figured it out. And most of the things that are wrong with the fridge are very simple. The fridge I got today, I got from a lady because she said it wasn't coming on. She says, I don't know what happened. It just didn't come on. And I was telling her what could possibly be wrong. And I get home, I plug it in. That's that thing is humming right now. And I mean that thing is hauling ass. It right now it's sitting at 30 below. That is the best refrigerator I've ever seen. I'm telling you, man, and I'm gonna sell that for a real good price. And I only paid $20 for it. $20 just because I knew something she didn't. I like the fact that you're putting all caps too, because I'm having a hard time reading it. How long have you been messing with refrigerators? For about 4 years. That's how long I've been, yeah, messing with refrigerators, but that isn't how long I've been working on them. You know what I'm saying? My first, yeah. So my first, like in 2020, I wasn't working on them. I was just they didn't work. I would take them to I throw them away. But then I was like, I know these work. I know I can get these going. So I think about maybe 2.5, 3 years, I started getting into it, and now I watch videos on how to fix the motherboards now. So I've taken my own classes and gradually, said, oh, okay, I understand this, I understand that. Now I'm on to the compressors and I'm on to the motherboards. Actually, I'm gonna get in the weeds on how to fix a motherboard. I'm pointing out one right now. So this Samsung, I'm gonna because right now I have a broken Samsung sitting out there, and I need a new PVC board. So I've just started learning where the power comes in and what these are and stuff like that, and just what they are and what they do, and that's what I do. I when I have time, I sit here and I watch hours of videos talking about this, and from different countries too. People are doing different things, and then some people have two compressor refrigerators. Some people are working on the big commercial refrigerators. So eventually, once I get good enough to be able to call it from you know anywhere, what I'm gonna do is take the next step and go into commercial refrigerators. Or like right now, if somebody told me that their vending machine wasn't cooling, I could probably tell them what's wrong with it. I could probably take a good guess. But what I won't do is charge them an ass load for a good guess. You know what I'm saying? I'll only charge them for my level of expertise because I've never worked on one before. So I go, I never worked on one before, but tell me what it's doing. They're just saying it's just not cooling. They're not getting any Freon. Then I would say, how long have you had it or how old is it? That would tell me some things. What brand is it? That would tell me a lot. Um, is it only cooling from one side, or is it cooling from the top to the bottom? You know what I mean? Is the top cold and the bottom's not, or is the bottom cold as top? That tells me a whole lot, you know, stuff like that. So that's how I would do it. Let me read some of your questions. And when did you decide that flipping refrigerator was it? Well, like I said, about 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, when I was hungry and they were throwing away whole kitchens. Listen, I would even take the bathtub up to the junkyard. Yeah, man, I took that. It was solid metal. I took that to the junkyard. I took the kitchen sink. I even took the cabinets. If they threw away the cabinets, I would go and take the cabinets and resell those on Facebook too. People would come and buy the cabinets. The only thing that stopped me is a lot of the cabinets had roaches in it. So I don't sell anybody anything with roaches in it. That's what made me stop with the cabinets. Other than that, I was flipping the cabinets too. Hell, I was listening to one guy on YouTube. He said he used to flip couches and he made $8,000 a month flipping couches. Couches. I would do it. It's just that I can't deliver a couch by myself. They're gonna say, "Hey, can you deliver?" I'm gonna be like, "I can't carry a couch by myself." That's the biggest problem there. I could probably get it on a truck or two, but get it up into your house by myself, it's not gonna happen. I wouldn't even do that to myself. But yeah, couches. Not to mention, I don't like the bugs that come along with used couches and mattresses and all that. I don't. One bed bug and that's it. One bed bug and it's lights out. From what I do, and bed bugs don't like what I do. We get different bugs, but you can just spray them out and they're out. You know what I'm saying? Bed bugs are very tenacious, different. Roaches, you can get rid of them. I know where the roaches hide in refrigerators. As soon as I see one, I'm like, I can't trust this refrigerator. So I take it to the junkyard. But yeah, so I'm learning these motherboards now. I'm just teaching myself. There's a guy online who does classes, and I just watch him. I listen to what he says. I mean, he's going really into the woods with these, and I'm glad he does because the deeper he gets, the more I learn. And so I just sit here and just you know eat and learn until somebody calls me. I have to go do something. You tried to sell your PC for super something and couldn't get a bite. Well, you know, I have a bunch of computers. I don't try to flip them. If anything, I would try to flip a part or I would flip a service. Yeah, yeah. If I was gonna get into the PC game, I would flip a recovery service. That's what I would do. I would buy a bunch of. I would, for one, I would build a computer. Let me say that now. I would build a nice computer, and then I would get me about three screens. I'd probably have, yeah, yeah, yeah. I would build a computer. I would offer that service too. I said, if you want a computer built, I'll build it for you. You just give me the specs and pay me a certain amount of money. I'll build it for you. You come pick it up. Because you can build the whole cooling lines and all that, make it look like whatever they want. I would offer that service. That would be cool. That would be good money for each one. So you could do that. But I would also, yeah, a recovery service because people lose information all the time. And that's what I would do. I would offer a recovery service. You know what I'm saying? And that's good money because people lose stuff all the time. So yeah, people forget to back it up. They don't really care. So that's what I would do, and I would have a really nice computer to do it with. Um, yeah, I would have me a lot of RAM. Uh, you probably wouldn't need the highest graphics, to do it, but I would still have a good graphics card with it, and yeah, it'd be pretty damn fast because you want all that information like right now. Yeah. So, did you ever take an IQ test for the VA? I don't think I did. I think I took one in high school. Is something understanding very well. Well, see, if you understand PCs very well, then you know here's something you probably don't understand very well: marketing. You probably don't know how to market yourself, and yeah, as soon as you figure out how to market yourself, you know, the thing about PCs is not everybody needs one. PC is a luxury. Uh, so in the PC game, if you're gonna get into a lane, uh, get into a lane where people are gonna need you. Do you think I could have one of my what? My socials? I don't understand. Do you think I could have one of your social socials to chat, like messages? I don't know. Like I'm not on Instagram because somebody hacked my Instagram, or my phone, or like my phone number or something. You can hit me up on. I don't usually give my phone number out, but you can hit me up on either here or you can email me. You know, stuff like that. Yeah, I don't do social media either. Yeah, you can email me, and what'll probably happen is we'll probably just do a live together on DuckDuckGo. Oh, not DuckDuckGo, but where is it? What is that? We'll probably just do a live stream where your face is going to be here and mine's going to be here, and we can talk about the whole subject at hand. So I'm going to learn how to do that, and yeah, we'll get into the PCs and stuff. But yeah, I have two compact 64s. I also have a computer from 2009. But yeah, I got two compacts, and they both run. Uh, I got two Macs. I only use this one, but I have another one. It runs too. I just don't know the password anymore. But it runs. That's from 2013. It's a 21.5. You know, I just never use it because I'm always on this. But yeah. So if I was gonna get into the PC game, I would put myself where I would either look. I would either get into the protection game, protecting information. I would get into the app game. That level of power is unobtainable on the RTX 490. What is that? A graphics card? Yeah, I mean, you can get into the Bitcoin game, but that you got to have a lot of power for that. But yeah, I would do that. I would either get into the building computer games, but you got to have a lot of space for that. Um, yeah, you know, the designing game. or I'd either get into the protection game or the app game if I was going to go that technical and get down like that. Yeah, because people are always looking for protection uh, for cyber crimes. So there's that. Uh, People are always looking for an app to make their day go better or faster. So there's that. I'm also thinking about going into going into trades. I did the trade game. I traded on the stock market. I still do. I still got a couple $100 in there. I wanted to create stuff with with wood. There you go. Do it. Like my own idea and stuff. Do you got to do it, man. If your funds are looking right, if your money's right, I mean, if you listen, if you got $5,000, that's your emergency money. $5,000, that's your emergency money. Anything else after that, that's your seed round. That's what it is. That's your seed round. That's you got some ideas you want to get into. That's your seed round. If you don't have $5,000, you can't. You don't do anything. Don't do anything until you get $5,000. And I mean that because $5,000, if your car goes out, $5,000 will get you into another car today. Today, $5,000, boom, you can go and get yourself into a hoopty real quick today. If you get kicked out of your house, $5,000, you can be in another spot, boom, just like that. Just like that. It's just not hard. Or you can stay at an Airbnb until you find a spot just like I did. $5,000, you're not going to be hungry. You got money to eat, plus you can make that first uh, down payment for your rent that first month, plus plus the prorate. Yeah, that's a killer. If you're looking at a place that costs $1,500, you need that first month, and you're going in the middle of the month, so you're looking at another $700-800, and you have to cut on your utilities. I mean, let's look at that. That's already $2,200, $2,300 right there. Then you got to cut on all your utilities that you moved. You got to cut on your internet. That's $80. You're gonna have to well 80 to $90. You got to cut on your electric. You got to cut on your gas. You got to cut on your water. You got to change your locations. You got to do all that stuff. You're looking at another $500 right there. So now you're up to what 3,000 easy. You know what I'm saying? Plus all the running around you got to do. I'm trying to tell you that money goes fast, real fast. How are you linking the liking a new apartment? My new apartment is super small compared to where I was. But the one advantage that I have is I can work on my refrigerators in a whole nother room. Um, but another advantage that I have is I don't pay any utilities. I don't even pay for cable, and I don't even have a TV. I don't pay for the internet, light, gas, water, and cable. I don't pay for none of that. Yeah. So it's a good place to build back up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm out of the city, so my money slowed down. So my my money slowed down drastically because, like I said, I was making a good a good penny going to the junkyard 3 times a week. That was putting me at 120 $130 right there. You know what I'm saying? Just riding around getting junk. But I'm 10 12 miles outside of the city now, So I got to consider the gas to go up there and do all that riding around. It's just not the same. I'm going to live in a man small. I don't know what that says. I don't want to put those glasses on anymore. They messing with my eyes. But yeah, so I'm not at a disadvantage where I'm at. You know, I'm still doing me. I mean, if I want to take a trip, I can do that. You know what I'm saying? I can't do it too much, and I can't stay too long, but I can go. I can get there and kind of touch down, like, I was here, and then I get there, where am I going to? I don't know. Boom, I was here. Hi, everybody. Time for me to go back home. I can't stay too long. I gotta come back and flip some more fridges. That's just honest. But yeah, I'm not at a disadvantage. There are some cool companies that are right around me. Amazon's right down the street. There's a trucking company right there. Siva, whatever. Um, oh, you're going to live in a van. I started to think about that. I started to live in either my Tahoe or my Avalanche. That's a thought. Put all my stuff in storage and just sell my Tahoe and live in my Avalanche. I thought about that. That's a thing. So yeah, take a trip, take a couple trips, go down to Florida, go to Texas. Thought about that. Chilling out, go back to Pittsburgh for a, you know, I got family down in all those areas. Well, not in Florida. I just know somebody down there. But yeah, I thought about that. Not even doing this. I was like, no, I'm not even going to do this. I'm not even going to get a spot. I'm just going to Airbnb it and just, and I could have done that. But the thing about the Airbnb is at one point you leave and then you have to come, then like there's got to be a break. You can only stay there for so long. And that's cool because that's Airbnb, but it could knock you off your rhythm because a lot of people don't want to Airbnb for 2 or 3 days. They want you to be there for a week at least, right? So when that break comes up that they have to have, they're like, you have to leave for like, 3 or 4 days. You're like, where am I going to go? Because most people don't want to Airbnb. So your next step is what? The hotels. And then when you're looking at a lot of these hotels are full. These hotels, they be stacked. And you can't hardly find the ones for the $59 hotels. Those don't exist no more. Good luck with that. So now you're looking at $120 a night. So you're easily looking at 360 plus tax. And then, you know, when you go back to your Airbnb, you're short almost $400. And your Airbnb for a month is going to cost you at least a grand. So that's why I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to wrestle with that. Because, I'm like, I'm going to get a spot, get secure, and then I'm going to rock out of that spot. But at least I know it's my spot. I was also looking at extended stay, but they wanted $1,200 for an extended stay, and then they wanted a $235 service fee each month. I was like, nah, I'm good. Nah. Because the extended stay, the amount came to $40 a night. which was okay if it was just going to be that. But when you throw in all that extra stuff, you're just jacking people. So I said, no, I'm just going to, you know. Then when I had was looking at this place, I was like, it's outside of the city. I said, that's not a bad idea right now. But when they said you don't pay no utilities, I said, you know what? I could go for that right now. I can go for that little, that break, that financial break. That saves me like $400. So, my most expensive thing is my rent and my storage unit. You know, so my rent, my storage unit, and my car insurance. So you got all of those. But after I pay all those, I don't have no more bills for the rest of the month, other than my gym membership and stuff like that. I got little bills and stuff like that. Is it the New Year's already? What's my thoughts on weed? Don't smoke it. That's it. That's my thoughts on weed. Don't smoke it. But if that's your vice, that's your vice. Listen, if you're struggling right now, I mean, weed has medicinal properties. I'm not going to go into that. But if you're really on your grind, you don't need nothing slowing you down. Nothing. You don't want nothing to be hindering you in any shape, form, or fashion. You don't want that. I'm telling you guys, if you guys if you guys are not making the money you think you should be making, okay. Well, I don't know if weed helps that, but okay. Yeah, I'm not, I couldn't even touch that subject. Yeah, see, you know more about it than I do because I don't know. I'm not a smoker and I'm not a medical professional. You know, my little science degree in the healthcare field would not even give me, the intel of that, because I'm just health administration, which would, I would oversee an office, you know what I'm saying, or a hospital or a health clinic or something like that. So I wouldn't even get into the depths of, glaucoma or ADHD or whatever weed is helping fix. I would just have skimmed over the knowledge, or had a healthcare professional tell me about it, and you know what I'm saying, as far as something that's incorporated in a payment. That's what it would look like to somebody, to me. If somebody says, "Hey, I have ADHD," uh, the doctor said I need so much weed to do it. You know what that sounds like to me? It would sound like an ICD-10 code. What I hear is how I'm going to bill your insurance. That's what that says to me. That's all. I would go, okay, how would I bill it? How do I bill that? And what doctor did you see? Did your psychiatrist tell you that? You know what I'm saying? Because I need to know what medical doctor issued this to you, and how do I bill for it? That's as deep as I would go on the subject. I'm not saying I smoke all day. I'm saying, like I said, like I don't really have any suggestion other than I wouldn't do it. Listen, I if I was on the grind trying to get to my first million, I would not do anything that would slow me down in any shape, form, or fashion. I wouldn't date if it slowed me down. I wouldn't drink or smoke or anything. I wouldn't take in anything in my body. But cigarettes, nothing, nothing. If it's alcohol, forget it. I wouldn't go. I wouldn't go party. I wouldn't do any of that. Now, I ain't saying I wouldn't live. But what I'm saying is, if I was grinding for my first million, there would be nothing that would cloud my thoughts. Nothing. No, I'm just saying. But you do have a threshold. You do have an amount that you want to get to. See, you don't want to work for anybody. Yeah, but look, you can go and build a cabin in the woods and be happy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, you know what I'm saying? There's different levels of happiness for each person. You know, you could go and live out in the middle of the woods and, just be happy. Or you could be, you could be in the city, doing your thing. But if you're going to live here, you need money. That's it and that's all. And then you could, when you're looking at entrepreneurship, like, is that where you're headed to? You know what I'm saying? You got to ask yourself that now because you can work on it now. Like, I want to be an entrepreneur. Like, I don't want to work for anybody. I want to call my own shots. I want to get up when I want to. I don't want to dread Mondays and only be happy when Friday comes around. I don't want to be that person. I want to be the person that jumps out of bed and let's go. You know what I'm saying? When I get out of bed at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, I don't go, woe is me. I roll over, I get up, I thank God for that day, and I start thinking about the one thing that I like to do, and that's refrigerators. I like to fix them. And I have 5 of them sitting right out there. So my first process is listing. I need to list. I need to list them. Where I'm going to list them, how much I'm going to list them for, what my competition is. So I go directly into marketing. I go directly in there, and sometimes I don't even get out of bed before I do that. I grab the phone and I start scrolling, and I go right to Facebook marketing, and I start looking at what's available. I look at the prices. Boom, 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 boom. And I look at what money I want to spend to buy my next refrigerator. Should I buy my next refrigerator? Right now I'm full, so I don't need to buy one. But I still look at the ones that are available because I know what's hot and what's not. I know the refrigerators that are selling for me. You know what I'm saying? So if I see another stainless steel top freezer and it's for $50, and I'm going to read the description. I'm going to click on it, read the description. They're going to say, I'm just getting rid of this. It came with the house. I no longer need it. And then I'm going to figure out where it's at. If they say it's in Galloway or if it's in Linden or something like that, I already know that's less than a half an hour from me. I'm going to jump out of bed. Then I'm going to start contacting that person immediately. Immediately. And if that person answers me back, I'm going to say, when can I come pick it up? And if they say, hey, you're second in line or third in line, I'll let you know. I'll be like, okay, cool. Then I'll go to the next, do it again. But if they say, you can come get it now, or when do you want to come get it? And I'll tell them where I'm located. And if they want cash or cash app, and then boom, I hit the teller machine, fire up the truck, and I'm out there. Now I got me another refrigerator that probably doesn't need nothing done to it. It's probably already clean. I go to the storage unit, finagle some stuff, boom, throw it in the storage unit. That's it. List it, take pictures of it, list it, boom. Wait a couple days, not even a couple days sometimes. Somebody pings on it, bing. Somebody pings on it, it's on. Yeah, wake up and thank the Lord. Somebody pings right on it. 2 days later, ping, and I got it set at two different prices. You know what I'm saying? I could have it set for 350. I could have it set for 300. It doesn't matter which one it takes. Then boom, somebody takes it for 350. I charge them delivery. They're like, when can you deliver it? I'm like, I can come right now. Boom. That one fridge, I reached my quota for the week. Boom, 350. Boom, there I am. $400 because of delivery. Like I really enjoy the top freezers because they're not that heavy. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what I do, man. I go to bed thinking about refrigerators. I wake up thinking about refrigerators. You know what I'm saying? Hit the shower or whatever. Hit the gym. You know what I'm saying? Go to Kroger's, get my favorite foods after I'm done. Come home, chill, get up and do it all again. Get up and do it all again and just keep growing, keep growing, keep growing, man. That's how I live. It like I'm making money off of stuff that I love to do. Sometimes I get up in the middle of the night, I'll just go stare at my refrigerators. I'm trying to figure out what do I need to buy. This needs this needs that needs this. Then I'm like, how much money do I need to spend on one before I give up on it? But it's the mystery of what's wrong with it is where the value is. Because now I know, boom, what's wrong with you? I might spend $250 on the refrigerator, but that $250, for one, when I buy an item, I get insurance for it. Because if I don't need it, I can return it. So you're not just buying stuff. You're like, oh, okay, like I bought this from Sears. I bought this from Sears. It's a start relay hooked up to a wiring harness. I could return this to Sears. They'll take it back. You see what I mean? So you're buying stuff, you're trying to figure stuff out. Then once you figure out what it is, then it's like, okay, boom, now I know what this problem is. Plus, I can sell this fridge and I can return the extra stuff that I bought. Boom, there you go. There you go. I don't need this and I don't need that. Give me my $130 back. It goes right back on your card. And you just keep going. Now when somebody asks you about a particular refrigerator and what's it doing, you're like, oh, this looks familiar. This is what's happening. Then they pay you. I'm just saying, man, it's just not that hard. But it takes a while to build up because you need to be smart. You know, people really love when somebody knows something. You know what I mean? When you're knowledgeable of something, people are like, oh, okay. You get respect. You're just like, okay, I see you with the 3-in-1 compression ratio. All right. Tell me what the PSI is on a, you know what I'm saying? You might get somebody to start talking back to you. You might get somebody to start talking right back to you, be like, oh yeah, we got one of those. That's a frequency compressor, blah, 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 blah. And I don't know that much about frequency compressors. I'm just now getting into the woods. Yeah, knowledge is respect. You know, I'm just now finding out that there was a frequency compressor. I'm just like, damn, that's impressive. I didn't even know till recently that uh, 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 when a compressor, depending on which one it is, a compressor can spin up and actually spin down. I didn't know that. I thought once they kicked on, it was one setting. It's on until it reaches temp. Did it? No, the new ones don't do that. The new ones will warm up. They'll have so many RPMs, and depending on how much freon they need to they need to get rid of or they need to administer. You know, if you just bought it brand new and you bring it into the house, and then those thermostats read that it has to come on, I think it's gonna come on full blast. It's because what it in every house is what about 70 degrees, right? 70, 72, 74. So what's it gonna do? It's gonna come on full blast. It's gonna spin up. You're gonna hear it kick on. Well, now say it's it's cooling the fridge down, right? So what's gonna do? It's gonna cool the freezer down first. So let's just say it's a side by side. If it's a side by side, what happens? The freezer side cools down first, right? And then the air that the fan is blowing that comes through a vent. It's a duct or a vent, depends on. Anyways, it comes through a vent. That vent opens and closes according to the computer system. So it's the computer saying, I want air, I don't want air. I want air, I don't want air. Now, when you have a Frigidaire side by side, the motherboard is actually sitting in the refrigerator. So it's if you're opening it up and and you see a set of lights here and a set of lights here, that's a Frigidaire that you're working with. That Frigidaire right up top of there is going to be the motherboard. So if your duct doesn't close or doesn't open and it's on a system, you can hear it. You have to take that whole thing out and fix it. You think you just have to plug, and then it opens up. Nope, that whole thing has to come out. That whole duct, it screws from here all the way up and around. The whole thing has to come out, and you have to put a whole nother one in there just to get it right. So if your refrigerator side is warm, it's 50 degrees and more, that's because the duct is broke. That simple thing decided it doesn't want to open anymore. Or if all of your stuff is frozen on your refrigerator side, it's because that duct is broke. It stayed open. And here's another thing: if you have a top freezer, like a regular apartment refrigerator, those are top freezers, right? If you have a top freezer and you buy a fan, you replace the fan, and your fan actually turns counterclockwise, what's going to happen is it's going to continue to stay on and it's going to freeze everything. And your food at the bottom is going to get frozen too. Yeah, you can actually buy the wrong. Yeah, listen, you can actually buy the wrong fan for your refrigerator and it's spinning the wrong way. It'll keep your duct open and it's just pouring, cold into it. Next thing you know, you're like, why is all my stuff frozen? Because you have the wrong fan. You have to buy everything by specs. And that's what usually happens there if somebody is like, a tech is like, oh, I got an extra fan. Well, that fan is in spec for that refrigerator. So it's always good to call, you know, down to an appliance parts place and see what exactly one that you need because they're going to sell it to you OEM, which means it's the actual from the manufacturer. It's going to cost you more, but you're not going to go wrong. It's not going to spin counterclockwise. It's going to spin clockwise. So yeah, that's a whole thing. Oh, good night. Much love to you too. Talk to you soon. But yeah, I'm just saying, there's a lot of stuff that goes in the fridges, man. And you don't know until you get hit with a situation. Right now, I got two of them back there that are broken, and I've never experienced what they're doing right now, and I'm thankful for it. Anyway, it's your boy Tone 202. God loves you, and so do I. Peace.